Denver.
Denver. And you know what? This is crazy. When you get to talk about Syria, I'm just going by with the news. You know how Syria is saying we'll give back the chemical weapons. But I got a guy who was in the Army Reserve that I work with that got deployed, and he's leaving in 2 weeks. So
2 weeks ago, where? To do what?
Oh, he got deployed. He's only Army Reserve, so he's only a weekend warrior. So now they're digging into the Army Reserve, and they're saying he's going to be waiting. He said he doesn't know. They're going to be waiting, but he's going to go to Syria though eventually.
Oh, okay. He's going to go out there with all them chemicals at, huh? Come on in, 727-239. 727. Going once. All right. All right, let's set it off, Frontline. Let's set this thing off. What you got? Let's dance.
All right.
Let's do the nasty.
You want to play Obama's speech, okay? Here we
I
go.
thought we were okay. Obama's speech ties right on into everything, right?
Yeah, we have to do his speech first, and then we'll go into debunking his claim.
Aha. Okay.
Okay, hold on a second, because of course, this is Wednesday night, and my computer wants to screw up, right?
Oh,
okay,
what we call them people again? Scanners?
Man, they be on me. Okay, you got it, Dawn?
Where you put it?
In Blog Talk.
You put it in Blog Talk. Okay, hold up.
Here, I put it in
got
Pal
you, boo.
Talk. Okay.
Oh, Pal Talk or Blog Talk?
Both. It's in both now.
Okay. 1 minute. Let me set this thing up. So I'm so fired right now. I got everything together. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, don't do this one, Dawn. Do another. Let me give you another one, because this one is the transcript.
Oh, it's good to have a transcript too, then.
Yeah, do this one.
Okay, so yeah, I'll keep the y'all. Let's keep the transcripts too. The first link.
So play the video on Huffington on the one I just put in there.
Okay. I guess Comcast said, "Bitch, you ain't finna play shit either." Comcast got that Obama call. Comcast said, if you don't stop them niggas right now."
This is some shit.
I ain't even on Comcast. My shit frozen and shit, right? My shit is like, Okay, hold up. See, they don't play fair. This is what I'm talking about.
I don't see this happening on nobody else's show.
Well, you have the most effective show.
Oh, please.
Yes, the fuck you do. Shit. Oh, there you go with a little ugly ass on that little thing. I see him.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring in Don Nicoleone real quick so that she can play it. Gotta bring her in real quick and make sure she's straight. You ready, Don? You got it queued up yet? Okay. All right.
Let me say peace to Nefertiti wherever she is. I hope she's getting some rest.
Yeah, she gotta goddamn lay it down. It's her turn now. You feel me? Me and Nef be taking sleep shifts and shit. Okay, here we go. We ready. We was ready.
Okay, now underneath this, for those who are not on in the Blog Talk, this is under Huffington Post, Obama Syria speech address. So you can read the text of his speech, so you can follow along with the transcript.
Fireliner, can you hear me?
Yeah, you real soft, Don.
For some reason, these motherfuckers ain't gave me no goddamn sound. Does anybody got sound on that video? It's playing. Hold on. Oh, I know why you can't hear me. Hold on. But this ain't about you trying to hear me. Anybody got sound on that video? Oh, okay. Wait. Wait a fucking minute.
I have sound.
The scientists at Shell created Shell V-Power Premium Gasoline.
My fellow Americans, tonight I want to talk to you about Syria, why it matters, and where we go from here. Over the past 2 years, what began as a series of peaceful protests against the repressive regime of Bashar al-Assad has turned into a brutal civil war. Over 100,000 people have been killed. Millions have fled the country. In that time, America has worked with allies to provide humanitarian support, help the moderate opposition, and to shape a political settlement. But I have resisted calls for military action because we cannot resolve someone else's civil war through force, particularly after a decade of war in Iraq and Afghanistan. The situation profoundly changed, though, on August 21st, when Assad's government gassed to death over 1,000 people, including hundreds of children. The images from this massacre are sickening. Men, women, children lying in rows, killed by poison gas. Others foaming at the mouth, gasping for breath. A father clutching his dead children, imploring them to get up and walk. On that terrible night, the world saw in gruesome detail the terrible nature of chemical weapons, and why the overwhelming majority of humanity has declared them off limits, a crime against humanity, and a violation of the laws of war. This was not always the case. In World War I, American GIs were among the many thousands killed by deadly gas in the trenches of Europe. In World War II, the Nazis used gas to inflict the horror of the Holocaust. Because these weapons can kill on a mass scale, with no distinction between soldier and infant, the civilized world has spent a century working to ban them. And in 1997, the United States Senate overwhelmingly approved an international agreement prohibiting the use of chemical weapons, now joined by 189 governments that represent 98% of humanity. On August 21st, these basic rules were violated, along with our sense of common humanity. No one disputes that chemical weapons were used in Syria. The world saw thousands of videos, cell phone pictures, and social media accounts from the attack. And humanitarian organizations told stories of hospitals packed with people who had symptoms of poison gas. Moreover, we know the Assad regime was responsible. In the days leading up to August 21st, we know that Assad's chemical weapons personnel prepared for an attack near an area where they mix sarin gas. They distributed gas masks to their troops. Then they fired rockets from a regime-controlled area into 11 neighborhoods that the regime has been trying to wipe clear of opposition forces. Shortly after those rockets landed, the gas spread, and hospitals filled with the dying and the wounded. We know senior figures in Assad's military machine reviewed the results of the attack, and the regime increased their shelling of the same neighborhoods in the days that followed. We've also studied samples of blood and hair from people at the site that tested positive for sarin. When dictators commit atrocities, they depend upon the world to look the other way until those horrifying pictures fade from memory. But these things happened. The facts cannot be denied. The question now is what the United States of America and the international community is prepared to do about it. Because what happened to those people, those children, is not only a violation of international law, it's also a danger to our security. Let me explain why. If we fail to act, the Assad regime will see no reason to stop using chemical weapons. As the ban against these weapons erodes, other tyrants will have no reason to think twice about acquiring poison gas and using them. Over time, our troops would again face the prospect of chemical warfare on the battlefield. And it could be easy for terrorist organizations to obtain these weapons and to use them to attack civilians. If fighting spills beyond Syria's borders, these weapons could threaten allies like Turkey, Jordan, and Israel. And a failure to stand against the use of chemical weapons would weaken prohibitions against other weapons of mass destruction and embolden Assad's ally, Iran, which must decide whether to ignore international law by building a nuclear weapon or to take a more peaceful path. This is not a world we should accept. This is what's at stake. And that is why, after careful deliberation, I determined that it is in the national security interests of the United States to respond to the Assad regime's use of chemical weapons through a targeted military strike. The purpose of this strike would be to deter Assad from using chemical weapons, to degrade his regime's ability to use them, and to make clear to the world that we will not tolerate their use. That's my judgment as Commander-in-Chief. But I'm also the president of the world's oldest constitutional democracy. So even though I possess the authority to order military strikes, I believe it was right, in the absence of a direct or imminent threat to our security, to take this debate to Congress. I believe our democracy is stronger when the president acts with the support of Congress. And I believe that America acts more effectively abroad when we stand together. This is especially true after a decade that put more and more war-making power in the hands of the president and more burdens on the shoulders of our troops while sidelining the people's representatives from the critical decisions about when we use force. Now, I know that after the terrible toll of Iraq and Afghanistan, the idea of any military action, no matter how limited, is not going to be popular. After all, I've spent 4.5 years working to end wars, not to start them. Our troops are out of Iraq. Our troops are coming home from Afghanistan. And I know Americans want all of us in Washington, especially me, to concentrate on the task of building our nation here at home, putting people back to work, educating our kids, growing our middle class. It's no wonder then that you're asking hard questions. So let me answer some of the most important questions that I've heard from members of Congress and that I've read in letters that you've sent to me. First, many of you have asked, will this put us on a slippery slope to another war? One man wrote to me that we are still recovering from our involvement in Iraq. A veteran put it more bluntly. This nation is sick and tired of war. My answer is simple. I will not put American boots on the ground in Syria. I will not pursue an open-ended action like Iraq or Afghanistan. I will not pursue a prolonged air campaign like Libya or Kosovo. This would be a targeted strike to achieve a clear objective, deterring the use of chemical weapons and degrading Assad's capabilities. Others have asked whether it's worth acting if we don't take out Assad. Some members of Congress have said, there's no point in simply doing a pinprick strike in Syria. Let me make something clear. The United States military doesn't do pinpricks. Even a limited strike will send a message to Assad that no other nation can deliver. I don't think we should remove another dictator with force. We learned from Iraq that doing so makes us responsible for all that comes next. But a targeted strike can make Assad or any other dictator think twice before using chemical weapons. Other questions involve the dangers of retaliation. We don't dismiss any threats, but the Assad regime does not have the ability to seriously threaten our military. Any other retaliation they might seek is in line with threats that we face every day. Neither Assad nor his allies have any interest in escalation that would lead to his demise. And our ally Israel can defend itself with overwhelming force, as well as the unshakable support of the United States of America. Many of you have asked a broader question. Why should we get involved at all in a place that's so complicated and where, as one person wrote to me, those who come after Assad may be enemies of human rights? It's true that some of Assad's opponents are extremists, but Al-Qaeda will only draw strength in a more chaotic Syria if people there see the world doing nothing to prevent innocent civilians from being gassed to death. The majority of the Syrian people and the Syrian opposition we work with just want to live in peace, with dignity and freedom. And the day after any military action, we will redouble our efforts to achieve a political solution that strengthens those who reject the forces of tyranny and extremism. Finally, many of you have asked, why not leave this to other countries or seek solutions short of force? As several people wrote to me, we should not be the world's policeman. I agree. And I have a deeply held preference for peaceful solutions. Over the last 2 years, my administration has tried diplomacy and sanctions, warnings and negotiations. But chemical weapons were still used by the Assad regime. However, over the last few days, we've seen some encouraging signs. In part because of the credible threat of U.S. military action, as well as constructive talks that I had with President Putin, the Russian government has indicated a willingness to join with the international community in pushing Assad to give up his chemical weapons. The Assad regime even said they joined the Chemical Weapons Convention, which prohibits their use. It's too early to tell whether this offer will succeed, and any agreement must verify that the Assad regime keeps its commitments. But this initiative has the potential to remove the threat of chemical weapons without the use of force, particularly because Russia is one of Assad's strongest allies. I have therefore asked the leaders of Congress to postpone a vote to authorize the use of force while we pursue this diplomatic path. I'm sending Secretary of State John Kerry to meet his Russian counterpart on Thursday, and I will continue my own discussions with President Putin. I've spoken to the leaders of two of our closest allies, France and the United Kingdom, and we will work together in consultation with Russia and China to put forward a resolution at the UN Security Council requiring Assad to give up his chemical weapons and to ultimately destroy them under international control. We'll also give UN inspectors the opportunity to report their findings about what happened on August 21st. And we will continue to rally support from allies from Europe to the Americas, from Asia to the Middle East, who agree on the need for action. Meanwhile, I've ordered our military to maintain current posture, to keep the pressure on Assad, and to be in a position to respond if diplomacy fails. And tonight I give thanks again to our military and their families for their incredible strength and sacrifices. My fellow Americans, for nearly 7 decades, the United States has been the anchor of global security. This has meant doing more than forging international agreements. It has meant enforcing them. The burdens of leadership are often heavy, but the world's a better place because we have borne them. And so, to my friends on the right, I ask you to reconcile your commitment to America's military might with a failure to act when a cause is so plainly just. To my friends on the left, I ask you to reconcile your belief in freedom and dignity for all people with those images of children writhing in pain, still on a cold hospital floor. For sometimes resolutions and statements of condemnation are simply not enough. Indeed, I'd ask every member of Congress and those of you watching at home tonight to view those videos of the attack, and then ask, what kind of world will we live in if the United States of America sees a dictator brazenly violate international law with poison gas, and we choose to look the other way? Franklin Roosevelt once said, our national determination to keep free of foreign wars and foreign entanglements cannot prevent us from feeling deep concern when ideals and principles that we have cherished are challenged. Our ideals and principles, as well as our national security, are at stake in Syria, along with our leadership of a world where we seek to ensure that the war weapons will never be used. America is not the world's policeman. Terrible things happen across the globe, and it is beyond our means to right every wrong. But when, with modest effort and risk, we can stop children from being gassed to death and thereby make our own children safer over the long run, I believe we should act. That's what makes America different. That's what makes us exceptional. With humility, but with resolve, let us never lose sight of that essential truth. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
All right, man. This is a nasty version of Hot Damn Politics, so y'all make sure y'all download this show when this is over, goddammit. Firelighter, can you hear me?
For your next project.
Oh, Lord, he's back.
5 times in her.
Oh, no. How you turn it off?
The president that won't go away.
All right, what we got?
You know, I didn't know where to stop that because it was just so ludicrous that it was hard to even stop it. It was hard to say stop, Don. I mean, what, you know, it was just quite something. I don't even know what kind of words to say for the speech that he made. It was just, to me, it was absolutely, you know, I can't remember who said it was a great communicator. I think that was Neff. And I keep saying, no, he's not. He's not a great communicator. He had his arguments have very little foundation, and they also don't make very much sense because I really think that he got played, and he's trying to save face. But you know, unless you're just really slow, you don't see that he backed himself into a corner. And
explain.
That well, see, first, you know, he gave this speech about he was drawing a red line, which was kind of like George Bush's the first line in the sand, where he said he was drawing a line in the sand, and that Saddam Hussein did not step over the line. You know, like you do when you were a kid. Step over this line. Step over this line.
Cross this line, motherfucker. I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah. So he did what he called the red line, which was, you know, you guys can kill each other all you want, but you better not do this, and this. And so when these supposedly chemical attacks occurred, then he felt the need to say he had to retaliate against these chemical installations. But when he saw that he didn't have very much support from either the Democrats, of course he didn't have any from the Republicans except for the Hawks, but even his own Democrats wouldn't support him. Then he was talked into getting the backing of the Congress, which would have been like a chess move. If Congress voted to support him attacking these chemical installations, and in the future it constituted a ground war, he would always be able to say, you voted for me to send those bombs in. And so therefore, these are the retaliations that occurred based on your votes. So therefore, we have to go into this area on a limited or an extended basis. So he would have covered his own ass, and that's why he went to Congress to try to bamboozle them into supporting it, because he believes that the Republicans are always hawks for war.
Vortex in the chat room said, niggas voted for a black Jason. Okay, maybe I'm the only one laughing at that shit.
Oh, absolutely. But let us not forget that before he even walked into the White House and unpacked the shit good, he got the Nobel Peace Prize.
For killing, okay? Then he had to kill some motherfuckers to get that.
Well, I don't think you have to kill anybody. But you do receive $1 million payoff if you get the Nobel.
But I thought that the Nobel Peace Prize, like, didn't somebody get a Nobel Peace Prize off of killing a whole bunch of people?
No, it's supposed to be peace. You're supposed to be a peace person.
Right, but then somebody in history got the Nobel Peace Prize for killing some motherfuckers, though.
Barack Obama.
Yeah, Barack Obama.
It was him, right?
That's the only one I know. Barack Obama.
Oh, okay. Well, then I was right. He got the Nobel Peace Prize. It was him. I knew it was somebody.
Yeah, he got the Peace Prize right when he first went into office, before he had done anything. They gave him the Peace Prize, which was astonishing to me because he hadn't done shit. He just got there. Like I said, they hadn't even unpacked it. Okay, so now he's got the Peace Prize, and he's one of the biggest murderers in history. Confusing.
How he's one of the biggest murderers in history? What did he do?
He's the one the bloodiest. He has the most wars and bloody wars in history.
How y'all know that? How y'all know that?
The number of people that he has murdered and the way that he has murdered them, and the drone attacks and the friendly fire attacks, and the his going in and taking out individuals assassination style. Yeah. He makes Bush look like Bush was a little leader.
I know it. Dr. York said one day, he said, the minute y'all gonna goddamn realize that Bush was the greatest president y'all niggas ever had. That's what he said. Y'all gonna realize that Bush was the greatest president y'all niggas ever had. This is some funny shit here.
Yeah.
Woo. Thank God I'm a Republican.
So he wants to get Congress to back him. Now, he made this speech last night, okay? Today, Wednesday, September the 11th, Congress was supposed to vote on supporting him. But because Putin made this offer that he would step in between Syria and the United States, then Obama was able to come in last night and say, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. I'm going to let Putin take this, and we'll see how this rides before I come back to you and let you know that the shit didn't work and we still got to bomb these places. So
now, here's my question. What the hell that got to do with this nigga though? And America's military. What the fuck they doing over there?
That's the point. His speech was, if you go back to his speech, he says, here's why, let me explain to you why we have to do something about this.
Wait, slow it down. What did he say? Let me explain to you why we got to do something.
Let me explain why. If we fail to act, the Assad regime will see no reason to stop using chemical weapons.
Oh, please. So what is they going to use? Chemical weapons against the Assad regime?
No, they're going to send bombs over by battleships.
Isn't bombs full of goddamn chemicals? Isn't that what make up a goddamn bomb? Chemical?
Well, see, I haven't really had anyone explain to me yet, because of course you can't bomb the chemical factories. Because if you bomb the chemical factories, you release the chemicals. So I don't know what he intends to destroy. I don't understand, what is he going to shoot at in order to get his point across.
But whether he shoot at anything or bomb anything, bullets, missiles, bombs are still made up of chemicals.
Only if you put chemicals into the bombs, but generally.
Do you know what a bomb? You know what chemicals are? Even ether is a chemical.
I get the chemical breakdown of this, but what I'm saying is that he's not going to send nuclear bombs. He would just blow up some shit.
That still would be chemicals involved. To blow up anything takes chemicals.
Right. Of course. But not
so that means they've been violated the act then. When he said that Congress and them did an act in 19 of no chemical warfare, no chemical woo, then that should have been the end of guns, bombs, all that shit. Tanks, drones, all of that shit is made up of chemicals. Them niggas ain't fighting with marshmallows.
No.
Them damn weapons ain't made of sugar and goddamn lollipops.
I said this last week. The 1925 Geneva Protocol after World War II, and he briefly got into this, the history of chemical warfare in modern day war. After World War I, when Germany released chemical warfare against the British and the American troops, they had a convention in Geneva, Switzerland, 1925, where they made a pact amongst the countries that chemical warfare would be banned. Okay? That didn't mean jack, because in World War II, they were still committing chemical warfare. Germany went right back to chemical warfare again. And Japan went right back to chemical warfare again. And the United States went right back to chemical warfare again. So it has continued. It's never stopped. It never will stop. And it's been something that has been around for thousands of years. So to say that you're going to ban chemical warfare is ludicrous. Not only is it just the chemical part of releasing chemical gases, but like you said, there's a chemical reaction in a bomb. So warfare is chemicals.
That means they really supposed to be fighting with sticks and spears and shit like that. Or knives and shit. They will be sword fighting and shit.
Man to man. Mano y mano.
Fist to fist, huh? It's supposed to be in a boxing ring. Now, that would be good shit if all the world leaders go to goddamn Vegas, Caesar Palace, or whatever the fuck they fight at and get in the ring. I would love to see Obama then kick Sahad, whatever the fuck his name is.
Assad.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So everything is pretty much language, right? So they're pretty much almost saying, like, it's depending on what chemicals are using in order to accomplish whatever chemical they use in a bomb, one of those self bombers, as opposed to just him using those actual chemical weapons.
No, listen, chemical is chemical. Okay, that's like oral sex is still sex. Fuck what you heard. It's still chemicals. In order to make anything, these little weapons they got, they have to use chemicals, even in bullets. Gunpowder. Gunpowder has chemical substance in it. It's a chemical. Okay? They've been using chemicals. So that's why Fireline said that's a goddamn joke, the Geneva bullshit. So he making it seem like we not using it, we abiding by it. But motherfucker, nigga, don't your military, ain't they toting chemicals on their hips? Your police officers is toting chemicals on their hips. Matter of fact,
and we have nuclear submarines rolling around in the ocean.
Okay.
We have nuclear bombs on battleships.
Oh my God, you're lying.
That drop bombs. Come on. I mean, this
nigga talk about they honored that shit, and this other motherfucker over there in Syria has dishonored the oath. Get the fuck out of here.
That's how they trick you. It's all tricky. Politicians play with words. That dude is very good at playing with words.
He play on the mind on the ignorant. God damn it! I ain't that stupid. I ain't have to go to school for know what chemicals are. Shit. Hell,
of course.
Bleach is chemical, motherfucker. They should stop selling bleach. Shut it all down. See, that's bullshit. They would be glad I wasn't born. What year was that? Fireline when they did the Geneva Convention?
1925.
Yeah, I was too busy. I was shooting dice back then.
Okay, now I want to do this because now that we have actually looked at his speech, we've listened to his speech, we are now going to look at the true history of the United States and their love for chemical weapons.
Wait. We still got questions about Obama, though.
Okay. What?
Newbie got a hand up in the chat room.
Okay.
So it's okay to kill them one way, but not another?
Yes. It is okay to kill them if you kill them one at a time. I didn't even say that to be funny, Dom, but that's the truth. As long as you shoot them one at a time, then that's clean. But if you wipe out a group of them at the same time, then that's dirty pool, as white people say. Dirty pool. That was foul.
Okay, well then, could you do me one favor real quick? Could you tell me again why he say he was gonna do it? Why? What was his reason for this again? That little line that you said he.
Okay. Here is the bottom line with him. His bottom line is that when there was a conference that the world leaders all signed against using chemical weapons, and Assad went against that commitment on his own people. So therefore, he is saying that if we allow him to do this, to get away with this, we are not the policemen of the world. I agree. I have deeply held preference for peaceful solutions. Okay? Now listen to this bullshit. Over the last 2 years, my administration has tried diplomacy and sanctions, warnings and negotiations, but chemical weapons were still used by the Assad regime. So therefore, the Assad regime has now admitted that it has used these weapons and even said they joined the Chemical Weapons Convention, which prohibits their use. So Assad apparently said, yes, I did this.
Who the fuck is Assad? Where he at? Is he on YouTube saying it?
I don't know. I haven't seen him say it, so I don't know unless he called Barack and said it to him one-on-one. He has not made a speech where he said, yes, I did it, and what you gonna do?
I can't deal with this.
Okay.
He called Barack and told her, right? He said, as a matter of fact, and I was there at the convention. I honor that.
So,
okay.
So he is saying that if we allow him to do this, if we allow him to get away with it, here's the consequences that will happen. It's a slippery slope. I love that. That phrase. Slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. What will happen is other countries will say, well, God damn it, Assad got away with it, so I'm going to use chemical weapons. And then you don't know. They might.
But my thing is this though: shouldn't the international courts deal with them? What the fuck this nigga got to do with it? If it was a Geneva Convention with all the countries and all of that or whatever, shouldn't the what that shit called again? The you know what I'm talking about?
United
What's the
Nations?
shit with all the flags be flying?
The United Nations?
Yeah, shouldn't them?
Yeah. NATO? Yeah. Let me finish now. Let me read this. I'm quoting my fellow Americans. For nearly 7 decades, the United States has been the anchor of global security. This has meant doing more than foregoing international agreements. It has meant enforcing them. The burdens of leadership are often heavy, but the world's a better place because we have borne them.
What? What?
We have the big nigga in charge. We the head niggas in charge. And so when some shit fucks up, it's our duty to go fix that shit. And that's
to go over to somebody else's house and fuck with them because they done fuck with the rats and roaches that live in their house.
That's
right.
some gangster stuff right there.
Come on, that shit ain't gangster. That's bullshit. Come on in, newbie. Give us a mic check. That's some bull. That ain't goddamn gangster. Goddamn, what's good with you, nigga?
Good evening. God, this is crazy. This makes absolutely no sense to me. It just sounds like, yeah, we can kill them this way, but we can't kill them the other way. It makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying. And what weapon they gonna use to kill Assad then? A marshmallow?
It makes sense if you understand the agenda. Clear that in order for Israel to expand, they have to have additional land. So therefore, Syria is on the border. It is absolutely perfect for them to wipe out. Now, he does address this. He says in this speech, we have seen that our forcibly taking out a dictator doesn't work. Okay? America forcibly took out Saddam. And that shit blew up in their face. So what they really want to happen is to get these so-called, quote-unquote, rebels geared up enough to be able to overthrow Assad and his military, to get them out of the way so that they can literally move the Israelis into Syria so they can have more territory. Just like they did in the 1948 war when they landed on Israel and took over those people's land. So they want to be able to push their border so that they can have more space. So any way they can get to do this, look at what he said. saying. By this chemical warfare, he is making his neighborhood dangerous for Turkey, Jordan, and Israel. These are American allies. And so therefore, we see that Assad and his group have gotten too big for their britches, so we need to take these motherfuckers out. And the way we're going to take them out is we have been trying to supply the rebels with arms, but Assad is playing dirty pool by killing these people in their targeted 11 targeted communities.
Why don't Obama supply us with some goddamn arms? What the fuck he doing worried about them niggas? Nigga, we getting killed over here by all the Zimmermans and shit. When we gonna get some arms so we can fight back?
Well, I guess if Israel wants to take over Chicago, they would do the same for them here.
My point is, isn't Assad helping them anyway? Isn't that helping the cause? So ultimately, what they want to do is occupy Syria, correct?
Say again.
I said, ultimately, isn't that what they want to do is occupy Syria? So isn't he basically helping them by bombing his own people?
Well, if it is in fact true that Assad even did it, and I said this 3 weeks ago, I don't believe Assad released those chemicals. I believe that was an American move. It's a false flag.
So where's the backlash?
What backlash? The only backlash is the fact that Russia said you better not step foot, or not a hair on their head better not be disturbed. When my son comes home from where he's been, not a hair on his head better not be disturbed. So that is why he is backing down, because Russia is stepping up. And at this point, he has to wait and see whether or not Russia will in fact go in and disarm those chemical factories, which I don't think they're going to do. So we will be revisiting this in a few months.
So it's basically a race now. Who gets to them first?
No, it's buying Barack a little bit of time.
They're already starting to deploy troops for that. They're already even dipping in the reserves right now. I mean, I started off telling the story how there's a guy at my job, he's in the Army Reserve, and he's getting ready to leave in 2 weeks. So.
Okay, well, you do know that the American military is predominantly National Guard now, and has been since 2002.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Calling this guy who's in the National Guard, this is just the first of many of his deployments.
Army Reserve. It's a little bit different. I mean, National Guard is they protect the cities. They're the ones who, like, in case of national disaster and all that.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And that's my point. They have been mobilized to fight in theaters of war since 2002.
Yeah,
so
true.
The Army Reserve, they're taking people up until the age of 55 to come in and enlist.
Yeah. So it's crazy. It's a crazy situation. I do know that. But see, here's what I'm asking. Okay, this is a question I want to ask you. Okay, I was reading on a news clip that the president, or Syria's president, or whoever the dictator is, said, I'll give up. I'll give him up. That's what I was reading. He said he would give him up. Of course, I was reading at work, and got part of it was cut off because I couldn't. It won't open up, but that's the part I had read.
Okay, well, let's go back to the invasion in Iraq. Saddam Hussein allowed the UN to send in their inspectors
Right.
Okay? This is a replay. We've seen this movie before.
That's true.
The UN went in and inspected and said there are no weapons of mass destruction. And Bush II said, y'all better get your ass out of there because I'm getting ready to bomb at midnight. I don't give a fuck whether you found any or not. That shit's going up, shock and awe.
Right.
So aside saying that's okay, y'all can come in and check, don't mean shit, does it?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, I better lost.
Once they've made up their mind what they're going to do, that's what they're going to do. This is the theater that they're playing for you sitting at home watching TV.
Oh yes, it's all an act. It's all scripted. All of it's all scripted already. Just to show,
right.
show people. Like you were saying in the speech, you pretty much said, "Hey, look, we're the boss, and we gotta let people know that we're boss. Because if we let him know weak, then they're gonna take us as weak, and they're gonna try to come after us. So we gotta let them know, let the world know that, hey, no, this guy is not gonna get away with this."
He is telling you that he's addressing the point of why does it have to be us? And literally, he's saying, if not us, who? For 7 decades, America has been the military force of the world. And so, therefore, it is left up to us to handle this shit. Because if we don't, then the other around the world will say, well, America let them get away with it. Why can't we?
Okay, Fireline, let me bring in Babylon.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, Don? What's up, Fireline?
Babylon, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing my best, Don.
Peace, Babylon.
Hey, teacher. Hey, Fireline.
I'm glad you're here because we are going to. Did you hear any of what we talked about so far?
I'm just getting in, Fire.
Okay. So
I mean,
over,
you know, I'm a nerd, so I'm gonna catch up real fast. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get in.
We just went over Barack's speech that he gave last night, and we listened to the speech. We read the transcript, and I spoke about the fact that his speech is based on a fallacy that America has to be the policeman of the world because someone has committed a chemical crime. And we talked about this last week, the 1925 Geneva Protocol, which said that chemical weapons were banned. Now, what we're going to go to now is a history of United States secret human experimentation. You can look this up if you just Google a history of United States secret human experimentation. It's under a website called Rense, RENSE.com.
Okay.
All right. Now, let me put the link in the chat room so everybody can follow. And we're going to get into America being the big brother of the world and the fact that they are the policemen to chemical attacks. Okay, now, we're going to go all the way back to 1931. They don't have anything listed on before 1931. This website just starts here. So let's go with the first one they have on the list, which is 1931, Dr. Cornelius Rhodes, under the auspices of the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Investigation, infects human subjects with cancer cells. He later goes on to establish the U.S. Army Biological Warfare. Let me say that again. The U.S. Army Biological Warfare Facility in Maryland, Utah, and Panama is named the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission. While there, he begins a series of radiation exposure experiments on American soldiers and civilian hospital patients. Now, for those of you who want to go into this with a little bit more in depth, Dr. Cornelius Rhodes was accused of injecting Panamanians with live cancer cells in order for him to be able to study the reactions. He was given all kinds of, based on his experiments, he was given all kinds of awards and acclimates and all kinds of shit. He was later, when people started coming and saying what a horrible person he was, they stripped him of all his dignified accomplishments. They've taken his name off of buildings and all kinds of shit. But this is the guy who they have first on this list. So I know you've probably heard of him, Babylon.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the first one. That was 1931. The next one is 1932, the Tuskegee Syphilis Study. 200 black men diagnosed with syphilis are never told of their illness, are denied treatment, and instead are used as human guinea pigs in order to follow the progression and symptoms of the disease. They all subsequently die from syphilis. Their families are never told that they could have been treated and cured. Okay, this is another experiment. This is another chemical experiment on U.S. citizens. 1935, the Pelagua incident. After millions of individuals died from Pelagua over a span of 2 decades, the U.S. Public Health Service finally asked to stem the disease. The director of the agency admits it had known for at least 20 years that Pelagua is caused by a niacin deficiency, but failed to act since most of the deaths occurred within poverty-stricken Black population.
I can get it. Which one you want?
Okay, what you say, Babylon?
I'm sorry, Fire. I'm still here. I'm listening.
Okay. So, niacin. So from what I looked up on this, niacin is a deficiency that could have been treated, but again, they decided not to treat these people in order for them to be able to see what the effects of it was. It's a vitamin deficiency. And because the people that had it were predominantly poverty-stricken Black people, they did not treat them for, they say, at least 20 years. So that would have ran from 1935 to 1955. Okay, let's move on.
So that makes it like the fourth experiment, Fireliners. You gave 4, 31, 33, 35, and what else?
31, 32, and 35. So we've done 3 so far.
Oh, 3, okay. Yeah,
okay,
that's interesting years, though, because during those years, that's the depression areas, right?
That's correct. That's during the Depression.
Okay.
Correct. Okay, 1940. 400 prisoners in Chicago are infected with malaria in order to study the effects of new and experimental drugs to combat the disease. Nazi doctors later on trial at Nuremberg cite this American study to defend their own actions during the Holocaust. Okay, everybody understand that?
Say that thing again. What they did?
400 prisoners in Chicago are infected with malaria.
And they ain't even in Africa.
No, in Chicago, in jail.
Isn't malaria from mosquitoes in tropical environments?
It doesn't say where they got them from. These are just bullet points, Babylon. It says they're infected.
I won't say it like that. Let me say it for the record. For the record, malaria is spread by mosquitoes in a tropical environment, and Chicago is not fucking tropical.
Chicago ain't goddamn Africa, Jack.
I know that.
This damn show ain't in America. That shit came from the Caucasus Mountain somewhere then.
Yeah, absolutely. So how the fuck 400 people get malaria in Chicago would be an impossibility unless somebody brought the disease there. So you already got your proof right there, Fire.
Yeah, so it started, they do it in them infirmaries. They gave it to the motherfuckers when they go see the doctor. Injections.
That's right.
They injected them motherfuckers.
They admitted
you see why I don't trust doctors. You see why I don't trust nobody with a lab coat on.
Yeah.
So malaria is contagious, so we only need to affect one or two prisoners.
Is it contagious?
Right.
I don't know.
That should be contagious.
Let me read this again so you understand. It is saying 400 prisoners are infected.
Okay.
So they didn't get two and let it spread. They infected 400.
Well,
so this is a test study. They have a number.
Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying, Fire. It's a round number of that. Not 452 or 417. It's fucking 400 people infected, meaning that's a planned operation.
That's correct. That is a test study. So of these 400 people, they are in order to study the effects of new and experimental drugs to combat disease.
Okay.
Okay. Now, later on, it says that the Nazi doctors at Nuremberg said, well, hey, why are you guys pointing at us? Because the American doctors did it in Chicago. They got away with this shit in Chicago. We didn't start this shit. American doctors did it. Okay. All right. So we're up to 1942. Chemical Warfare Services begins mustard gas experiments on approximately 4,000 servicemen. The experiments continue until 1945 and made use of seventh-day Adventists who chose to become human guinea pigs rather than serve on active duty. You got that? Hello?
Absolutely, Firelight. I had muted my phone, but I heard everything you said. The fucking human guinea pigs, they chose to do that instead of going into the military.
That's correct.
But couldn't they have went to prison?
This is a group that they've got this in Capital. Chemical Warfare Services. So this had to be a branch of something. Chemical
Warfare Services. This is a department.
Yeah.
I'm hearing straight clear, Fire. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Let's
So it's
move
the service
to
department.
They are official of somebody, whether it's the Department of because back then it was the Department of War. It wasn't the Department of Defense. So it probably was a branch of the Department of War. Mustard gas, you know, that's definitely a war. That's what they used in World War I, was mustard gas.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that was 1942. 1943, in response to Japan's full-scale germ warfare program, the U.S. begins research on biological weapons at Fort Detrick, Maryland.
Okay.
Okay? So now they started an official chemical biological weapons department at a military branch. 1944, the United States Navy uses human subjects to test gas masks and clothing. Individuals are locked in a gas chamber and exposed to mustard gas and levicite, Lewisite.
I heard the spelling, but I didn't really catch it. Lew what?
Lewisite. Lewisite.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh shit, I know what that is. That's that goddamn that's a chemical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that motherfucker. It's a odorless chemical. Sometimes it's colorless. I learned about that in chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah, and they use that shit on even the Center for Disease Control still fucks with that shit. They still use those chemicals. Yeah, real talk.
Okay, so
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
My question is, how do they trick a bunch of humans to get inside a little chamber so they put gas on their ass? How they get them in there? What do they tell them? They're gonna participate in a movie?
They pay them.
Pay them to get into a damn closet.
Yeah. You take some poverty-stricken people and you pay them. Let me ask you this, Dawn. How do they trick people on these commercials to come down to a facility for a test of a new pharmaceutical today?
I don't know. I don't have a TV no more, thank God. What did they say? You can get paid too?
Yes, they pay them.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know people that went down to the motherfucking sleep deprivation goddamn thing and insomnia thing and goddamn
all that shit, yeah.
Yeah, and was goddamn going down there for $50 a night, letting them people monitor them with all type of shit on their face and head and shit and chest and shit, talking about they ain't do never sleep. They had the best night rest of their fucking life.
You know, that's some government shit. It's in every state now. I met a bitch that there's a goddamn waitress. She wait tables.
Okay.
And this hoe said she in school now to become one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It's like they even paying motherfuckers to stay overnight with them niggas while they sleep and shit like that to monitor them.
Oh, and I tell you, I ride public transportation, right? And there's little signs up on the advertisements for different various things you can go in there for experimental. Now, one they have up there is for people who were like maybe during the Vietnam War all the way up to the Desert Storm or Iraq War, where they can come in and they'll get paid. It's experimental. It's at a certain age, but it's crazy. There's all kinds of different ways you can get people to come in and do that, especially if you're broke.
And they doing that for babies that was in Vietnam, like people like me.
No, not babies, but just people who might have served in Vietnam, or if you served in any of these wars from Vietnam on up to all the way up to Iraq or whatever the second Desert War, the Storm War, but all the way up to there, they'll give you money. And it's experimental. They said that if you suffer for something that might have happened in there, you may qualify, and then you go in there and you get screened, and they do testing on you.
Okay.
Okay, can we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you.
1945, Project Paperclip is initiated. The U.S. State Department, Army Intelligence, and the CIA recruit Nazi scientists and offer them immunity and secret identities in exchange for work on top secret. Yeah.
Before you go forward, because I want to just throw this year in there. I promise you. I wanted to say, when you would get started, I wanted to say with 1941, we're coming up on the Roswell incidents in 43. You know what I'm talking about? The Roswell crash, the extraterrestrial, the whole shit? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now they talking about Project Paperclip, and most of these scientists that they call in Russians and Germans were actually extraterrestrial implants. But let's go ahead. I'm with it.
Okay, so it's just giving you the date that Project Paperclip started. Okay? In that same year, 1945, Program F, there's a new thing. I've never heard of this one before. Program F is implemented by the United States Atomic Energy Commission. This is the most extensive U.S. study of the health effects of fluoride. That's the shit that comes out of your water and the shit that's in your toothpaste.
Yep.
Which was the key chemical component in atomic bomb production. I will read that again.
Wow.
This is the study of the health effects of fluoride, which was the key chemical component in atomic bomb production. One of the most toxic chemicals known to man. Fluoride is found causes marked adverse effects to the central nervous system, but most of the information is squelched in the name of national security because of fear of lawsuit that would undermine full-scale production of atomic bombs. So they don't give a fuck about the fact that you're putting that shit in your toothpaste and brushing your teeth, drinking it in water. The reason that they did that was so that people would get used to it, because if they got upset about using it, they would have to say that shit is an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Say what? Say what now? People stuck on to get used to it, and so they can what now?
Okay. The reason why they are infiltrating you, proliferating fluoride, is so that people will think fluoride is a harmless chemical. It's a beneficial chemical. It helps your teeth, and it cleans your water. What they didn't say was that fluoride is one of the most destructive, toxic chemicals known to man.
Well, thank God I ain't no man.
It is though. I mean, firelighters, I remember when they used to say, don't swallow your toothpaste. Like, fluoride is harmless as long as you don't eat it. And even on the back of the toothpaste, it's a fucking warning. Say, if you swallow a massive amount, go see the fucking doctor.
You know what? I remember that shit too. I remember I came out the bathroom crying when I was a little girl. I said, Mom, I'm gonna die. She said, why is that? I better stay and swallow toothpaste.
Yeah.
He was like, girl, you ain't gonna die. Goddamn, ain't nothing gonna happen to you, girl. I remember that shit.
Yeah?
Yeah, I remember they told us not to goddamn swallow that motherfucker. You'll fuck around and die. I'm still here in this bitch. Now I know how to really kill myself. Baby, go get that Chris I bought y'all earlier. I'm about to get to it, goddamn. I love y'all. This is the last time y'all gonna hear from me.
I'm done.
Babylon, that was known as Program F. And I'm assuming F is for fluoride.
Absolutely. And like you said, I ain't never really heard of it being called Program F, but I knew about Program F anyway, from the atomic part, what you mentioned, all the way down to the damn toothpaste and the water.
Right.
And the school institution of fluoride, when we was younger fireliners, they used to come around and give us a white cup and pour a blue solution in the motherfucker, and everybody had to rinse at school. Now, what the fuck was that? I know it was fluoride.
That was, what's that thing called again, fireliners? There's something else. What you call that?
Program F.
Program F, motherfucker. Program F is
yes,
fuck
I
you
know.
up. Stand for fuck these motherfuckers up with fluoride.
Hey.
But what the fuck is wrong with these parents, man, that can't see this shit right here and say, God damn it, no, you not finna give my child, what the fuck you care about my child's teeth so much at fucking school?
What the fuck teeth got to do with A's and B's, right? Because it's the Program F.
Oh, okay.
The alphabet killers.
Hey, but listen, F is a failing grade.
Uh-oh.
What so many niggas fall out?
Isn't fluoride also used in Prozac and one of those mood enhancing for, like, what they usually give to people who are bipolar or psychotic kind of?
Yeah, because I used to give my baby Tiara when she used to fucking fall out and slap herself when she was little. She used to just slap herself when she don't get away. I used to hand her a fucking tube of toothpaste. She'll calm my ass down. I said, suck on that, girl. Real talk. She suck on toothpaste because when she would beat herself up. I said, suck on that. Get over it. And I used to let her eat lead, too. Eat the paint off the wall. Yeah, she used to eat the paint off the wall. After she calmed her ass down, I know she an alien. She would just stand on the bed and eat the paint off the wall, and then have a toothpaste to wash it down with. Now her favorite major is biology and chemistry. Ain't that something? Oh, it worked out perfect in our genes.
Okay, let's go to 1946. 1946.
Okay. Oh, wait, Fireliners. Dr. York was born in 1945, just for the record. Just want to throw that out there for the whole project Program F.
Okay, wait. That was in 1945?
Yeah.
Okay. Can Fireliners go back? One thing, I missed the part about the paperclip. What was the chemical in paperclip that was that? Oh, that was the Lewisite, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Project Paperclip is when they supposedly brought these Nazi scientists to America. That's Project Paperclip.
The extraterrestrials that was actually aiding them. Yeah. Okay.
And Lewisite came right before that, right, Fire?
Say what?
Lewisite came right before Project Paperclip.
Lewisite came in 1944, right?
Okay.
Okay, so
we caught up. I'm caught up.
It's accelerating expeditiously. It's not every 3 years, every 2 years. It's coming every year and then it starts to come more in 1 year. Okay, now 1946, patients in the VA hospitals are used as guinea pigs for medical experiments. In order to allay suspicions, the order is given to change the word experiments to investigations or observation whenever reporting a medical study performed in one of the nation's veterans hospitals. So what they're pointing out here is how they were able to use the English words to take people out of the mindset of experiment to observation. So that's what, when you talk to a doctor and he says to you, we're going to check you in to observe you.
Yeah, 24-hour observation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically what he's saying is we getting ready to experiment on your ass.
See why I don't trust them motherfuckers in lab coats? I'd rather die happy.
Oh, man, these some crazy motherfuckers. Okay, now, 1947, Colonel E.E. Kilpatrick of the United States Atomic Energy Commission issues a secret document. This is, for the record, document 07075001, dated January 8, 1947, stating that the agency will begin administering intravenous doses of radioactive substances to human subjects.
Say that again. What they do? Your phone, you went low on me.
They're going to start administering intravenous doses of radioactive substances to human subjects.
Through
so
IV.
It doesn't go into detail on who these human subjects were, but there are some people who the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission is going to be injecting with this radioactivity.
Through IVs.
Through IVs, that's correct.
Yeah, through IVs. You see why I don't motherfucking get IVs? You see how I don't trust motherfuckers in lab coats?
Absolutely, Don.
Shit, I told you I was a heroin addict in my former life. I don't fuck with none needles, no lab coats, no none of them motherfuckers.
Okay, now that was 1947. Again in 1947, the CIA begins to study LSD as a potential weapon for use by American intelligence.
Did you say for who?
For use by American intelligence.
Are you saying youth like children or youth like...
For youth, USE.
Like, for who?
For American intelligence, the CIA, the military intelligence agencies, youth, USE.
Okay.
So these people that they were experimenting on were both civilian and military, with and without their knowledge.
So how they trick them into it? For money?
No, some of them didn't even know that they were getting LSD, and probably the military were told that they were going to be taking these drugs. But the civilians probably didn't even know they were taking the drugs.
Why they want to experiment on humans for shit like this? Though I don't understand. What is the purpose? What are they? Is Babylon? Is that when aliens came? Because a lot of them hate humans, so that's why they be fucking them up and shit. Aliens be abducting their ass. We can't wait till they sleep, take them up and fuck them up their ass with a red light and shit. So do you think that this is some extraterrestrial involvement? Because why would humans think so diabolical against humans?
Well, that another name for that is angel dust. LSD and PCP and all that shit. And you know what that
babies was coming
about
through.
that.
Yeah, that's when the babies was coming
absolutely.
through. So Sakim said, Don, now if you're not a human, you study humans.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but hell, I'm not a fucking bird, but I ain't out there looking at them motherfuckers. But I think it's some other shit. They hate humans.
But I'm gonna tell you something though. One thing that they did reveal regarding these tests that Fireline is talking about, Don, is that the real whole drug enhancement thing was like during interrogation. They wanted to know how they could get information out of a motherfucker and that information be valid, but the person be under some other influence. And they couldn't help but tell me.
Yeah,
instead
but
of waterboarding.
I understand, like, they test that shit on, like, some military motherfuckers, but why just regular civilians? What the fuck are they gonna tell you? What you use them first? Well, I mean...
Yeah, they were just guinea pigs. They got YouTubes about it. You can watch it, darn. The test. You can watch it.
I'm asking why just regular motherfuckers? What the fuck information you gonna get out of regular motherfuckers?
Whether or not
I guess if it's a high-level ranking military... Okay. I guess if it's a high-level ranking military person and he got a wife and he doesn't expose certain information to her, then drug her ass and then have her spill the beans too. So we need some regular...
You think they like them sick fucks?
Yeah.
That makes sense, goddammit. Get the kids too, drug them motherfuckers up just in case they overheard daddy tell mama.
Ain't no telling what they overheard. They have under hypnosis and let's ride.
Too, just in case they was right now.
No, that's just how they did it. That's just how they did it. Yeah, they did. That's just how they did it on the fucking video. They was like, okay, tell your husband to come in so he can get paid too for the drug test. And then they don't even tell him that they're going to get him high though. They just tell him it's a mind experiment. And some people giving a placebo and some people giving the real deal. And you should have seen this fucking lady on when they gave her the goddamn LSD or the PCP. Her ass was straight out of it, done. I'm talking about the bitch was in the room. They was observing her ass like a fucking monkey. And it was a white lady too. It wasn't even a Nubian. It was a cracker. She straight lost her fucking mind.
She was acting like a goddamn monkey, so LSD brings you back to your original state. Let me take that shit. I wonder if I'm gonna fuck around and have some wings and try to fuck about this bitch. We'll take you back to what the fuck you really is.
But I'm saying though, she was looking right into the people's face and shit, just like talking to them all crazy, not even talking loud, like out of her damn mind, just whispering shit. Like, did you hear that? Did you see that? You know, shit like that. That bitch was looking out of it, bro. I was like, damn, that's a dangerous shit right there. Who the hell want to get that high?
I do.
Damn.
I did.
Yeah, Fireline.
Damn, I don't say that, Fireline.
Oh, man, Fireline taught me some few methods and shit. She done helped me get turned out to LSD on a whole nother rap. Told me to listen to Jimi Hendrix and I'll go on a trip.
Damn, I remember that.
All right, Hakeem. They gave us the whole history of goddamn that shit.
Yeah.
Damn. For y'all, though.
Boy.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that it was as early as 1947 because it didn't come really into my realm until the 60s. So they knew what this shit was going to do. If they had started experimenting with it back in 1947.
Yeah, that was the first time.
When they said, when Dr. York told us, he said they put it in the community in order to kill off a certain amount of Negroes, for real. So they knew what it'll do. And that's where most of everything come from. Your drugs, anything that enter the United States as a drug or a chemical, it's already been being tested by some motherfuckers in the laboratory. You know that.
So,
because I know they were injecting mothers with that shit in the 70s, pregnant women, pregnant black women.
Pretty much, LSD was in the 47, and so a lot of those people who were born around that era became teenagers. That's when it came real big. It was a lot of those people who were born around that era when they were developing this drugs.
No, I wasn't born in 1947.
No, I wasn't saying you were born in 47, but I'm just saying a lot of people who were like in the 60s were people who were born like what they call post-war babies, war babies. All those people who were post-war babies became in the 60s. During the 60s, there were ones using heavy LSD.
Yeah. They started with the...
I'm listening, Tyler.
It came from the hippies.
Yes.
The free love shit. Yeah, that was LSD. You know,
incredible.
Turn on and tune out. That was a big saying. Turn on and tune out.
Yeah. So, Farlana, have you ever heard of a lady? Her name is Arizona Wilder.
Yeah.
Of course.
You have that? Okay. Huh?
No, I have heard of her.
What about her?
Okay. Yeah, the so-called ex-Illuminati. You know, now this going back a little bit on the thing, but it still ties into the drug thing because, you know, Mengeleev was one of those German scientists that they say they brought in on the Project Paperclip. And I forget what year you said. I think you said 45, I think, 44, 45. But either way, it's the same damn time. So, but Mengeleev was using those same drugs on those children in order to get them right for military experiences and different things like that. And what became known as the fucking so-called Illuminati.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she mentions the drug use and the different drugs like LSD and PCP that they were exposed to during these tests and all this shit right here.
I'm going to start saying I'm ex-Illuminati so motherfuckers can listen to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now this is what we were talking about last week, Babylon. In 1950, the Department of Defense begins plans to detonate nuclear weapons in desert areas.
Babylon, you got to take us off a speaker. We can't hear Fireliners.
Okay.
Go ahead, Fireliners.
Okay, 1950, Department of Defense begins plans to detonate nuclear weapons in desert areas and monitor downwind residents for medical problems and mortality rates. That was Arizona, New Mexico. What states did I name? Arizona, New Mexico. Not California. Oklahoma.
Okay, but I hunt Fireliners, so I want to know what the fuck is downwind? Downwind from where? Because I know they're saying lower place.
Yeah, they figured out which way the wind direction was going so that they could go out in the desert and explode these nuclear weapons, and then the wind would filter that into residential areas. And these people would not know that they were experiencing radioactivity. And so they would monitor them by these people going to doctors for respiratory ailments, etc. They did this shit on purpose.
So basically, they just put the shit in the air and knew where the wind would carry it, and then monitored where and knew exactly how far the disease or the chemical would travel, and then by the rate of the people that went to the hospital for the symptoms related to what they put in the air.
Exactly.
That's what you call diabolical.
Exactly. For medical problems, they monitored them for medical problems and mortality rates. How long it took them to die?
But what did they give them again?
Nuclear weapons, radioactivity.
Where they do that at?
In desert states like New Mexico, Utah, Arizona, Oklahoma, places that that's a lot of wide open spaces, and they can pop off something and nobody know it.
Goddamn.
Yeah. And those are the least populated places in the world right now today because all the people goddamn dead.
Wow.
Yeah, they wiped out whole
the
towns.
ones you just named.
And
they wiped out whole towns.
Now, this is actually, for those that are coming in now, this is actually a history of U.S. secret human experimentations.
Yeah.
The United States using chemical weapons on its own citizenry.
Have always been and will always have been and will always do that shit. And Obama talking about. When was that convention done, Fireliners? When he said that convention?
1925, Geneva Protocol.
And we ain't goddamn, what year we in now? 19 what?
2000.
No, the year we at right now.
1950.
We in 19 what?
1950.
We in 1950, and they went to Geneva Convention in 19 what?
25.
And the purpose of going to the convention is to do what?
Ban nuclear weapons, chemical weapons.
and Obama say what today, last night? And what did Obama say? What he upset about?
He has to go to Syria because it is immoral and illegal for them to kill their own citizens.
And they kill their own citizens. And they kill their own citizens with what though? What they killing their own citizens with?
Chemical weapons.
Do it, Barack. Call the pot black. Call the kettle black, Barack.
That's right. And he says that if we don't stop it, no one else has the moral foundation to do it.
And if he don't stop what? Stop who?
Aside from using chemical weapons on
not if we don't stop using the chemical weapons on our own, then no one else will have the morals to stop in their own countries to use it on their own. Not that.
That's right.
We ain't gonna set the example, Don. He ain't gonna set the example. He just gonna go stop other motherfuckers from doing it. It's okay right here. We're gonna overlook that.
I knew eventually you would see the connection. It is hilarious. It's hilarious, but it's also
Sugar, you done did something tonight, Sugar.
It's diabolical. Because it is literally the United States is the biggest chemical weapon maker and user in the world, and they are sitting around saying, we can't have you doing this because it's immoral. But I'm giving you a list from 1935 through 2000 of all the different that we know of, because God knows how many we don't know of all the different times that they use chemical weapons on American citizens. Okay, now let me proceed. Okay.
Shit, wait, for Fireliners, I could tell you a time just recently. Desert Storm. I got a cousin right now in Blakely, Georgia, who got respiratory ailment and his fucking skin peels off. His name is Scotty. And he fucking fucked up after Desert Storm. He done got about goddamn 7 skin grafts from an agent that he ran into over there.
So technically, Babylon, what you're saying is that no such thing as a war in Desert Storm. It was just to bring all the American military soldiers over there, and then they were the enemies that they did this chemical warfare on.
Yes, son.
I know. So that was another joke. So that's another joke.
Yeah.
Enroll in the military. We give you benefits and all of that, and then say, "Oh, we got a war," so you know what he about to do now. This motherfucker's about to deploy a whole bunch of motherfucking military American Negroes and crackers and the likes. Take their ass over there to Syria and test some fucking chemical weapons on their ass.
Yep.
And have all us thinking that it's from the war that broke out in Syria and the weapons that Assad, whatever the fuck his name, used on them. They gonna come back fucked up off of some American chemicals.
Yeah.
But Don, I've already listed at least 6 different instances where they use the military as guinea pigs.
I know which where they lied at, cause I ain't trying to be funny, but I know a lot of Vietnamese, and ain't nobody got no goddamn Asian orange in them. Only niggas over here in America.
Yeah,
like my daddy.
Exactly, Don.
Okay, I just want to put that on record. All right.
And then they never accused Saddam Hussein of using chemical warfare. They say he had weapons of mass destruction. but they never said it was chemical. So how the hell these motherfuckers come back with chemical burns and shit? Unless it was America used the chemical.
They lied. They be lying to these American motherfuckers. This is they got a whole history of lying to their own people and having them participate in shit for money, disguised under you gonna fight for your country, but now you get your ass down there in Desert Storm, you come back ain't got no skin, because that's the chemical warfare that your own government tricked your ass to being a goddamn Project Rat with some combat boots on and shit. You thinking you about to save something other than your life, motherfucker. It's the jokes on the American people. That's the first thing Fireliners opened up with. That's the first goddamn thing she opened. This is, ooh, sugar, you done did it tonight. You done did it tonight. Give us more. You done did this shit tonight, goddamn. It was a reason why Nell's sleeping. I'm up. I needed to hear this shit.
We ain't even got to the good parts yet. Let me finish with 1950, because in 1950, they also did an experiment to determine how susceptible an American city would be to a biological attack. The United States Navy sprayed a cloud of bacteria from ships over San Francisco.
Damn.
Monitoring devices.
Wait. Can you rewind, please? What year are we in now?
1950, the same year.
It's taking a long time to. Damn. 1950.
Same year they setting off these nuclear weapons in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
They are also sitting outside of San Francisco in Navy ships.
That's the gay bomb.
Biological attack bacteria from the ships to San Francisco. Inside the city of San Francisco, they have monitoring devices situated through the city in order to test the extent of infection. Many residents became ill with pneumonia-like symptoms.
I know they did, breathing in a fucking cloud of bacteria.
Now, why would they choose
crazy.
San Francisco? Think about this. Why would they choose San Francisco to do this?
I got a guess, Fire, but if you know, you should say it. I got a guess, though.
Well, what's your guess?
It was the gay bomb.
I just said it was a gay bomb, nigga. Is you in the chat room or you just heard what I said earlier?
I ain't hear you say that, Don.
Man, I did a whole show on the goddamn gay bomb.
I remember that.
Yeah,
though.
go back. I don't remember the year, but if it's 1950, motherfucker, that was the gay bomb they dropped. But okay. I know that they used it on military men way back in the days now. So I don't know how far back that shit go, but if we probably keep going, they probably gonna say the shit. But it's a name. It's a name. It's a you know we don't know our chemical names, but so we call that's why they don't like that's why you know that they call it the F bomb. You remember that?
Yeah.
They still call that they don't say faggot, but they use it as a term of a bomb because that's what they dropped on the fucking men in the military. And they found out that because let me take it, but here's what they said it was for. To use on their enemies for war. But they tested it on American military soldiers. And all of a sudden, and that's when all of a sudden, find out when that don't ask, don't tell pops up in American history. Popped up, I'm telling you, that shit there for real, yo. It's a goddamn chemical. Just like what's that shit is? What's that plant everybody be sucking on? Soy is a goddamn chemical. Soy is another fucking bomb. That shit is man-made. That's a chemical. And soy produce faggotry.
I'm with it, Don.
It's the product. That F-bomb is the product. Got that soy. That soy is inside that F-bomb, shout it. Look at the chemical makeup of that F-bomb and look at the chemical elements of that goddamn soy shit. And that soy, you could plant soy for acres, for thousands. You could plant it all over the fucking planet, motherfucker. And guess what happens? The goddamn chemical and the chemical mist that soy releases in the fucking air, shout it. You ain't got to eat that shit. It's in the air.
Yeah.
That's why we recommend, we at the Medical Association of America, we recommend that y'all Negroes do thorough research on where are your soy farms planted at in your area, because it releases some shit in the fucking air and turn you niggas fruity.
Exactly.
It releases a chemical element. Yeah, that shit deep as fuck. Y'all got to do some research on that for real. It's the F-bomb they dropped.
Okay, well, the reason that I asked why would they pick San Francisco is because of the San Francisco fog. You can
San Francisco what? Say that last word.
The fog. F-O-G, the fog.
Oh, fog. Yeah, okay, that's right, fog. Okay.
You can sit out in the bay and spray shit into the city, and nobody would even know it was coming in.
Yep.
Because it's the fog.
Yep, San Francisco is like that.
Yeah.
That's why they chose San Francisco.
Okay, I can see that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
To release that in the air, because it would be mixed with the fog already dense. So a whole bunch of motherfucking babies and shit and grown people will be faggots and won't even know it. They breathing in faggotry. Called soy in the air.
Stop.
Did we jump into the soy yet?
No.
Oh yes, we did.
No.
My bad. But I wanted to ask Fireliners one thing. What year? This is 1950s.
1950 exactly.
Now, I don't know if you know the answer, but can I just ask you and hope that you know it? When did the whole Similac soy and all of that, the milk drugs, the pharmaceutical drug companies started to produce that? I need to know that year when they started coming out with that shit, because I noticed that right after they use the experiment and test, it works, and then they start to give it out to the general public, like they did the LSD and everything else.
Yeah.
So this is now a product that needs to go on the shelf.
That was in 1980s, because in 1980s, I had my daughter in 1986, and that's when we found out about the soy was in her formula. They later, like she was about 5 or 6, they later sent me a check. I got a check from the formula company because of they did not accept responsibility. They just said that there was a class action lawsuit against Infamil and Similac.
Yeah.
And I just got to check
I got it.
So now that told me that, unbeknownst to me, when the doctor gave me, I guess he said he must have put down in his notes or something that I was giving her Infamil or Similac, whatever it was. And so he made a note. So they must have went to all the pediatricians, all the baby doctors,
the pedophiles,
to find out the names of the parents who were giving this formula to their children, and they just included them in the class action suit. We didn't even know we were in a fucking class action suit. I just got a check.
Yeah. Well, if you remember around the time
80s, the late 80s.
Okay. If you remember around the time of Desert Storm, everybody, one of the main things that they talked about, that everybody was crying about, that they had bombs. Do you remember what it was? It was some type of factory, Fireliners. You remember what the big hoopla was? It was like, how could America do it? How could they do this? How could they bomb this certain kind of factory? Which produced, guess what? 3/4 of the milk, baby milk. They bombed the baby milk production plant.
Oh, in Iraq? In Iraq?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Who?
In Iraq.
America
I
did.
remember that.
That's the first place they bombed. That's the first place they bombed, dog.
Damn.
Yep.
Woo,
And so
these
they were saying
diabolical
that,
motherfuckers here.
they were saying like 78% of the babies was malnourished during that time because they couldn't produce no milk. That's the first place they bombed.
That's right. That was Bill Clinton.
So ain't no bitch had titty milk in the titties?
Well, you know, they had that other shit in the air, so anybody breastfeeding that was grown was goddamn feeding the baby goddamn chemical radiation and shit.
Well, I always say that the breast milk is the body is a filtration system of its own. It filters through. That's the purpose of the appendix and everything else. So whatever you want to fucking.
Well, they had
because
from,
I smoke hellified heroin and breastfeed.
From the first George Bush, John, and before Clinton blew up the milk factory. Before that, the first George Bush is the one who dropped the uranium bomb.
Oh, so you got to go back through that. I was trying to hear that. I want to hear that. Now that's his. I need to hear that. What you saying now?
The first George Bush, when he went into Desert Storm, I think is what they called that war.
Okay.
He dropped the uranium bombs in Iraq, which poisoned the people. So if the mothers were having problems producing milk, giving these babies milk, it was from those bombs that were dropped in Desert Storm. So then Clinton came in office, and then Clinton blew up the milk factory. That's why the children were malnutritioned, because the milk that their mothers were giving them wasn't any good, and then they didn't have the milk that was being produced in the factories.
Exactly. That's right.
Now, can I ask one more question? It's actually two.
Yeah.
Now, when did they go to Geneva?
1925.
And what they go to Geneva for?
To stop use of chemical weapons.
And what Obama say today about Syria?
That it is the American imperative as the moral compass of the world to stop Assad from using chemical weapons on his own people.
And what year we in now?
2013.
No, the year we in on the American thing of chemical warfare. And they went to Geneva in 1920 and vowed to
1925.
1925.
And now we're in 1950. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
And wait, fight. Did he just call America the fucking moral compass?
Why do you think I have to keep asking her that same shit? Because I know everybody ain't gonna get it. That's why I figured out. I figured out what Sugar done did tonight. Sugar done did herself tonight now.
Yeah,
She done did herself on this one. Shit, this shit here good.
Yeah.
Sugar, you done did something now.
Yeah.
Can we move to 1951?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have so far to go. It is so much shit going on here. Okay,
I'm holding one in my bag that I know you skipped, so I'm ready.
The Department of Defense begins open air tests using disease-producing bacteria and viruses. Tests last from 1951 until 1969. And there is concern that people in the surrounding areas have been exposed. They don't even tell you where the tests were. They must have been three of them. They don't even list what the test happened. They just say
I bet you were going everywhere Dr. York went.
To 1961.
Damn. Now you gotta explain that.
And where Malcolm X and them was, because you know them niggas were going all over the motherfucking United States and overseas. They probably just following them niggas.
Yeah, I guess that's the meaning of the word compass, because the compass encompasses every goddamn way.
Man, this is just terrible. This is terrible. It's terrible. Okay, let's move to 1953. 1953, the United States military releases clouds of zinc cadmium sulfide gas over Winnipeg, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Fort Wayne, the Manassas River Valley in Maryland, and Leesburg, Virginia. Their intent is to determine how efficiently they could dispense chemical agents.
Yeah. So
they were testing to see how good they were at dispensing chemical agents over major metropolitan cities.
Yep.
Ooh.
I bet you can't let down on Leesburg, Virginia. I bet you can't. That's a low-lying area. It'll be really hard. Well, let's see how good we are at it. Let's try one.
Man.
Just let that shit go.
Man. I heard somebody on the show today say anybody who was born before 1963, I think he said, has a certain amount of toxics in their blood. Shit, every fucking body.
Yeah,
ain't
that's
nobody
right.
walking on this. Ain't nobody in America who don't have some chemical shit in their body. Even if you don't have it, your parents had it and they passed it on to you. Okay. Let's move on.
So then they created an easier way and said vaccinations.
Yeah.
And immunization.
Yeah, that's vaccinations, ain't it?
1953 was a busy year. In 1953, the Joint Army Navy CIA experiments were conducted in which tens of thousands. Let me say this again. In 1953, the Joint Army, Navy, CIA experiments are conducted in which tens of thousands of people in New York and San Francisco are exposed to an airborne germ, Syria, microcins, and Bacillus glaglia. I don't even know what that shit is.
Wait, so can you spell it?
Okay. Syria is SERRATIA. Next word is MARCESCENS. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. I learned that in chemistry, in chemical. I learned that. That's Serratia. I can't remember how to pronounce that. Marcesians or some shit. Marcesins. I could be spelling it wrong. Pronouncing it wrong. But what that is that is a species of gram-negative. It's a rod-shaped bacterium in the family of Enterobacteriaceae. That is a human pathogen.
Yeah, pathogen. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what the fuck. Whoa.
So that's called an airborne bacteria today in modern day terms.
Motherfucker.
Okay, now they also
that should involve some serious infections, urinary tract infections, wound infections. It's commonly found in the respiratory, so you know it's airborne, and in the urinary tracts. Yes, and the gastrointestinal systems in children, and also it fucks up adults really bad.
See, listen, let me tell you what that shit is, though. What year is this file on this? Watch this now. What year is that?
1953. My birthday year.
53. Now, watch this. Ain't it a new disease, Don, that they claim is new, called MARS?
Oh, you done did it now. Damn show is MARS.
Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome, MERS, MERS.
Yes.
That's it right there. That's it right there, way back in 1953, and they telling motherfuckers it's a new disease. That's it. That's what they dropped the fuck over there right there. So Ratio Marcini, whatever the fuck y'all just felt.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now can I give you the other one? There's another one that
means you're right. NEX, that chemical is mercury. MER, mercury.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah,
one of them planets is extraterrestrial.
That's see, them aliens done already landed in what year when they came and started doing that shit? Them scientists and shit. Because they bringing them other goddamn chemicals from other elements from other planets. That shit ain't found here.
Yeah.
When last time y'all saw mercury? Y'all ain't seen that shit. The 1940s and some change.
Yeah, they started putting it in thermometers and shit. And children would break the thermometers and wind up with a mole by the eye or some shit.
Okay, now the other thing is called bacillus. BACILLUS. And the next word is GLOGIGI.
Go Gigi. That's the Gigi, ain't it? Damn. I heard you, Fire.
What?
She said bacillus, Go Gigi. Right, Fire? How would you pronounce that, Fire, if you had to do it?
I couldn't do it. That's why I spelled it.
How you spell it?
I put it in the chat for you, Don.
GLOGIGI.
Yeah, that's some glow gigi shit. That is glow gigi. Yeah.
Glow gigi.
You know, a military killed a woman by the name of E. Gigi.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it after air, though, boo. You know, I got a goddamn inside scoop on things, you know, because I'm a devil agent.
Yeah, that's right. No, you're an insider. Insider.
I'm a Washington insider. Is that what you call a motherfucker? Yeah. When doing politics, goddamn politics, you got to be what's that called? A Washington insider.
That's right. Got the insider. That's crazy, though.
Oh, my God.
Okay, Pi, what did bacillus glogigi do to
That's
niggas?
a biological warfare. That's what they use in biological warfare.
This was dropped on New York and San Francisco.
God damn. This is some real nasty ass shit.
Tell us a little bit about it, Don.
Well, of course, we're talking about bacillus.
Yeah. That's the
same type of. This is the same type of chemical that they use in the Ceratacea marci. It's the same shit. It's a gram positive. That Ceratacea marcescens, that shit is a gram negative. So now they use a gram positive bacterium.
Makes sense.
And it looks just like It looks just like, you know, the damn Ceratacea, that rod-shaped look. And it's that shit's fucked up, man. It's an organism.
Another goddamn pathogen. Okay.
Yeah. That shit nasty as fuck. Huh? That's like food contamination and all that type of shit. That's how they poison the soil. They use that to poison the soil. So if they did that shit, because we're talking about bio, it's a what's that word again? It's a bio warfare. So
biochemical.
Yeah, it's a biochemical. So it fucks with the plants and shit. So all the vegetarians and a lot of them green eaters must got fucked up by it, because that's where it's found. It's found in the goddamn soil once that bomb is dropped. So they did it on the soil, probably on crops and shit. So when they took it to the grocery stores and people started eating that shit, they like with their little cabbage and their little carrots they love to eat, that shit started fucking their asses up. And it's found in they shit. It's found in they shit after they shit. It's all oh my God, it's nasty. And they gut and everything.
Yeah.
So it's through food, it's through the soil. It's not through it's through the soil. So even your cows that eat the shit off the ground and stuff like that, everything they eat and everything humans eat with the vegetation, what year is that again?
1953.
So it's got to fuck with the groundwater too, Don.
It's still there. If it's in the ground, if it's in the soil, it's still there.
Yeah, because who gonna go back down there and treat all that bombs the bio warfare shit they done dropped in the soil? Ain't nobody's touching that shit. Ain't nobody who gonna clean that shit up in the soil. Nobody. It's still in there.
Yeah. That's a little geeky.
Yeah.
Okay.
They come out in that fucking shit, yo.
1953. It also has MK Ultra. CIA.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what you was waiting on.
Project MK Ultra. So 1953 was a busy year. Busy.
Okay, well, Fireline, did they expound on what MK stand for?
No, they say, this is what they say. This is an 11-year research program designed to produce and test drugs and biological agents that would be used for mind control and behavior modification. 6 of the sub-projects, let me finish. 6 of the sub-projects involve testing the agents on unwitted human beings. So they're just listing 6. So how many sub-projects did they have?
Well, it started with Project Paperclip. So even MK Ultra is a goddamn sub-project. And then they had the Delta Force, the fucking warriors that couldn't get goddamn hurt, the motherfucking Delta Force, the super soldiers of today. That was one of them. The Rambos and all that shit, those were MK Ultra products. Or Delta Force. And then they had the 007, goddamn James Bond. That was another sub-project of the MK Ultra project. Okay? All the way down to Brian Nichols. But
can you go? Wow, Babylon, you deep there.
Yeah.
So did Sideliners, could you read that part again when it said something about unwitted human beings?
6 of the sub-projects involve testing on unwittingly human beings.
What that mean? What that mean?
Motherfuckers out of their wits.
People who did not know that they were being tested. So they had 6
Now, you know
projects.
wit means see, and the knowledge.
Yeah. So they didn't know that this was happening. 6 projects. They're not going into what the projects were. They're just saying that 6 of them were designed to be used on people who didn't know they were being tested.
Okay, can I give the projects what they was designed for? And you can't find this on Google, so I know you can't find it right here. You already said one of them.
Can we find it in the Holy Tablets?
In Man from Planet Riz, Don.
Oh, okay, go ahead then.
MK, mind control. Okay, that's MK, mind control. Mortal Kombat, that's MK. Y'all help me out now. Mind control, Mortal Kombat, mass killers. God damn, I had them listed for 5 lines that kept going. I wanted to list them when I had them on my mind, but that's just some of them. But it's mind control, Mortal Kombat, mass killers. Hitler had a lot to do with it because he came out with a group of killing machines. That's another one, killing machines backwards. MK. Monarch control. That means that's the mind control. Now, Don, this is deep. You know what monarch programming is, right? Monarch programming is how they take a person and they treat them like a butterfly, because a monarch is a butterfly. This is where the mind control come in at. Monarch programming, or monarch control. And so they have what's called a proxy, a PROXY, a proxy. And so they basically upload or download the person with information about other people past, just like they did with Philadelphia experiment. And then the person believes from a child that they grew up in another family and they was actually this person when they not. And then when they realize time to turn on, they can snap a finger or blow a fucking whistle or whisper in their ear or call them up. Yeah. Also, MK Ultra stand for Manchurian Candidate. Manchurian Candidate, just like they activated them motherfuckers. So these are the 6 programs that they had, you know, just off the muscle, just off the top. But I had many other names that I had came up for with MK Ultra and had linked it in by reading Man from Planet Riz and Shambhala Augusta. And if you look throughout the book, you'll find just about every word I just said, just in different places. You'll find every word I just said, just in different places. Huh?
Did you say Delta?
Yeah, I said Delta 4 is the Delta Killer Machine. At first, that was one of them. Those were sub-projects. But MK.
I know that there was, I know the Delta and, what was that other one? Naomi.
What you called it?
I think it's Naomi. Okay. Naomi. Something like that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, if you know it's a delta, and delta is alpha, beta, gamma, delta. So it was alpha, a beta, a gamma, and a delta. So you already know that. So that was a sub project too. In order to get the D, you have to do alpha, beta, gamma. Then you get the delta. A to theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, like that. Then that's how they named them.
Yeah. Okay.
And so MK. Watch this other program. Now, this is a program you can't research. Watch this program. Did you notice? Watch this. Listen, Dan, for real. Listen, you know that all of the leaders that came out around a certain time, their name was MK?
Martin Luther King. Who else?
Yep. Marcus Garvey, MC, MK. Malcolm X.
Malachi,
MK. Absolutely.
Who else?
I forget what Noah Drew Ali real name was. I forget his fucking real name. All the motherfuckers, just Elijah Muhammad, all of them had really like a MK to their name, or MC, a Mac, like that computer, Mac, MC, like Mac.
Yeah, that Moorish names.
Yeah. All of them had that kind of MK to it. Timothy Drew. Okay, yeah. I forget what he was going by. But yeah, a lot of them had that shit to it, though, Don. I forget. I had a whole list of it. I have to go back into my goddamn, do a reverse hypnosis and do it. Y'all get the picture.
Okay, let me make an announcement real quick. We about to go into hyperspace, y'all. So everybody that's over there on BTR, you got to make your decision on whether or not you're going to jump in on this next hour. You got 2 motherfucking minutes to make up your mind. You either scroll up and push the Skype button so you can get in on the show, or take your ass to the after party, or just wait till the show is downloaded so you check out the next hour, or call in. Some of you broke motherfuckers. 347-884-9239. That's your boarding pass to get your ass in now. Don't say we never did nothing for you.
All right. So, all those those programs that you named, weren't these all movies? All these were movies. Every one of them you named, I remember specifically there had been a movie.
Delta
Yeah,
Force.
like video games and movies. Absolutely.
Movie.
Damn right. Manchurian Candidate, Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
In fact, they did Manchurian Candidate twice.
Yeah.
Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
My bad.
90 seconds.
Manchurian Candidate. That's what Manchurian Candidate is.
Donkey Kong.
Absolutely. Damn right. Don't listen, okay, watch this now, watch this. How does the military train all of its soldiers right now? Video games, simulations. It's called sims.
That's right. Damn.
That came from the military.
Ooh,
that didn't hit the street first. Yeah, that came from the
60
military.
seconds.
Then it hit the street. So they programming the children right now to be they super soldiers and they warriors. And the ones that come out and do the shit. I'm still on done.
Did you hear her? You are not the only one that can hear her.
You're still on.
Simulation program just came in, so you got to ignore her. But when she talks, you have to repeat what you say.
Okay. Yeah, but I was just saying that those military experiments, those military training is all done by computer now, all done through video games, all done through simulation, not just computers, but video games.
I always said, what if the shit is goddamn real? What if those games are real and we are the ones that's killing all the motherfuckers in other places?
10 seconds.
You just think it's a damn game. But motherfucker, you are looking, what's that shit called? Remote viewing. That's basically where you in, but you think you just plug that shit into your goddamn little PlayStation and you think it's a game, but there are motherfucking soldiers that are dying.
Hey, it's a movie out, and I can't remember the name of it, Don, but it was exactly that. And it wasn't war games. It was where these people put on this goddamn thing on their head, and they be in a video game. Ghost in the Machine. That's
a movie with this, right?
No, it's called Ghost in the Machine.
Okay, I just saw clips of it, but I was like,
I talked about that shit, Ghost in the Machine and shit, and them motherfuckers was goddamn killing motherfuckers, yo. Yep. And it was done on a military base.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a video game.
The place that's responsible for most of this, a lot of it,
PlayStation.
It's called Tavis, like Tavis Smiley, Tavis Stock. It's over there in Britain, the UK. Tavis Stock. For people who want to research it.
And research PlayStation.
Yeah.
That does what?
They do all the military programming and design most of the computers and video game simulations and create and do most of the, you know what 007 is? That's where you from. It's a real 007. And I'm talking about an old man, like way back in the day. I forget, who was it, Fireliners? One of them Freemasons, which one was it? Was it Adam Weishaupt? One of them was really 007 or some shit. I don't like to get a wrong name, but I forget the name.
I forgot his name,
Yeah, so one of them Masonic motherfuckers was the real 007. And people like, what's the cracker name that used to be flying everywhere and doing all the goddamn liaisoning between United States and Britain and all that shit?
Kissinger?
Huh? Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill. Them.
He was Prime Minister of England in World War II. Yeah.
And then there was a doctor over there called a Mengele, but his name is Mengeleev. But that happened to just be a code name for MK. But his name was Mengeleev.
Yeah, that was before
a lot of this stuff.
MI6, right? MI5. What is that?
Damn, fire, do it.
The 007 group was their intelligence agency. Like before, it was the FBI. It was called the OSS, and so their 007 group was before MI5.
Yeah. Now You said something else now, Fire Liners, cause now we could get into
I got 4840.
Hold up. Now we could get into you said MI5. Dang, my phone's. Ooh. You said we can get into. You said MI5, right?
Yeah, I think it's MI5 or it's MI6, whatever their equivalent.
MI6. It's MI6. It's MI6.
MI6.
Okay, now watch this. Watch this, Fire. It's an MI6, and then the people over Project Paperclip was named MJ12. You with me so far?
Okay.
So what's the letter after I? J.
J.
MI6 and MJ12. And 6 is 6 and 12 is 12, so 6 plus 12 is 18. And that's 666. So you had the MI6, and then the next program was MJ12. They was called a Majestic 12. But really, it was 24 of them motherfuckers. You can find this in Man from Planet Red Suit. It was really 24 of them motherfuckers, 12 hidden and 12 known. But they was known as MJ12, the Majestic 12. Some people say it means Majority 12. Either way, the motherfuckers existed. And then after J is what letter?
K.
K. So you get IJK. MI6, MJ12, MK Ultra. The ultimate. And that's why you get people like the Born Ultimatum. He was a part of the MK Ultra. Born Identity. You see how that motherfucker can go through anything and be hurt and beat the fuck up and get the fuck back up and complete the assignment at any means necessary. And later in the last Born, they showed that they was being drugged. Out of all the Borns, they never showed him being implanted and drugged. But in the last Born they did, they showed that he was being drugged. Born Identity. So he don't have an identity. He is born with an identity, meaning they just implant one and overlay one. And then he becomes an ultimatum when he reaches MK12, MK Ultra status. So it's basically MI6, MJ12, and MK Ultra, meaning 18, 666. Yeah, so MK Ultra is just too much. It's so much information, man. I would just have to we could write a book on that shit just alone.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Wasn't MK Ultra also the one that Disney was doing?
Yes, Monarch programming. That's the Monarch.
Yes.
That's where they take the person mind. It's called mind cocooning. That's another way you say MK. You see what I'm saying? So it's just too much, man. I swear. So it's mind control and Monarch and mind cocooning, where they cocoon the mind, and the person is treated as if they're a butterfly, and they blossom or grow. They already a goddamn caterpillar. So then they cocoon the mind, and whatever manifests after that is called the butterfly. And you'll find a lot of Britney Spears and all them motherfuckers with butterflies tattooed on them, and people don't know why. That's because they're part of the Monarch mind cocooning. MK Ultra. It's not just war machines. It's sex machines, sex seductresses, all type of shit. They produce all types of beings. They extraterrestrials. Walt Disney, don't believe me, check it out. Walt Disney is the goddamn Venerian. He's from Venus.
And you sure was.
Just like that. Like yeah, just like that shit. They got what his name is? Farrakhan into? That's Scientology. That motherfucking man. That was what's his name? Dianetics.
Ron Herbert.
Ron Herbert. That's right. L. Ron Herbert. His name is L. Ron Herbert. He got a first name start with L.
Yeah, like L from Superman planet.
Yeah, and so he is a Venusian. But watch this.
Yeah, a lot of those Venetians got L's and shit in their name. Yeah, they got L's in their shit. You know they on high. They came from
L.
Yeah, L. Ron.
Did you see? You know 007 handler name?
M.
Yeah, that MK Ultra. God damn it! Ain't hard, man. I mean, it's just all over the place. They don't even hide it. It just is what it is. They don't even think that people, even like we talk about it now, this shit'll be dead tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about? Like, Who gonna do something about it? They just got the programming installed. It's just like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Again, MK, Matrix.
Yeah, because even when you mention the proxy and all of that, those are all programs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Those are servers. Let's do it that way. Those are servers.
Yes, Don.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Fucking server out there. Just dishing out. Dishing out shit, man. Like Dish Network.
What else we got? We still in the 50s. Come on, this is good. Boy, you done did something tonight, Sugar.
Okay, we up to 1955 now.
Okay.
1955, CIA, in an experiment to test its ability to infect human populations with biological agents, releases a bacteria withdrawn from the Army's biological warfare arsenal over Tampa Bay, Florida. It doesn't tell you
another Bay. San Francisco Bay, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you what it was. It just tells you it releases a biological chemical. 1955, the same year, the Army Chemical Corps. So they had a branch. The Army Chemical Corps.
How they gonna have a chemical course when they went to Geneva in 1920?
Yeah, I know.
This is some interesting
The Army Chemical Corps continues LSD research, studying its potential use as a chemical incapacitating agent. More than 1,000 Americans participate in the test, which continue until 1958. So this particular test, they evaluated these people for 3 years. In 1956, the United States military releases mosquitoes infected with yellow fever over Savannah, Georgia, and Avalon Park, Florida. Following
another water place.
And they all connected. Savannah is connected to. That makes sense where they would just hit it in one spot. So they done release them. Where they get these goddamn mosquitoes from? These some diabolical little alien things.
Listen to this. Listen to this, Don. Following each test, Army agents posing as public health officials test the victims for effects.
Imposters.
Yeah.
Impersonators. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
We take it a step further and say those weren't even Army agents. Those were extraterrestrials posing as Army agents that posed as goddamn medical doctors. That's the truth, too.
Yeah, because ain't no way in hell Army agents know anything about testing. And these motherfuckers are dumb fucks, too, unless they deal in that chemical lab that they got, that she just mentioned.
Not
they
only
the ones
that,
that came
you have to ask yourself what fucking human beings would go in after they had released that shit.
Unless it's somebody that's immune to it.
That's
Which
right.
have to be somebody that just say, ouch, mosquito. That's used to them mosquitoes with yellow fever. Oops, mosquito. Don't worry about it. I'm immune.
Yeah.
But these niggas ain't.
Okay. Let's move on to 1956. I'm sorry, 1958. LSD is tested on 95 volunteers at the Army's Chemical Warfare Laboratory for its effect on intelligence. Boy,
they have an Army Chemical Warfare Laboratory.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the same chemical warfare laboratory you just mentioned?
No.
Now they have another Army Chemical Warfare Laboratory.
Yeah, that was the Army Chemical Corps.
And this is the what? The Army Chemical
Warfare Laboratory.
And they went to Geneva in 1920.
1955.
And they still building up military Army chemical labs all over the place.
Yeah.
This is some good shit here.
In 1960, we're getting close now. 1960, the Army Assistant Chief of Staff for Intelligence authorizes field testing of LSD in Europe and the Far East. Testing of the European population is codenamed Project Third Chance.
Third Chance of what?
Testing of the Asian population is codenamed Project Derby Hat.
So now they wait, where they at now? In Europe?
In Europe and Asia.
And
they taking LSD.
Boy, these motherfuckers. So who was president during that time?
1960, Dwight Eisenhower.
Yeah.
And who was the general?
Who was what?
That position Colin Powell played. You know Colin Powell, don't you? You know Colin Powell.
You mean who's the Joint Chief of Staff?
What position Colin Powell played?
Colin Powell was a Joint Chief.
He was the Army General at first, Fireliners. I think that's what John
I'm asking. So who was the goddamn general during that time?
Oh.
I don't know.
Let me think. Nobody of importance that I know of.
But because you know they got to do all that too, don't they? They got to it's all military, ain't it?
Yeah. A lot of this is military. They claiming it's coming from the military. The goddamn corporation and the goddamn laboratory.
This is the Army Assistant Chief of Staff. So I would have to look up 1960, who was the Army Chief of Staff.
Yeah, because we know Eisenhower was the one that was in communication with extraterrestrial once again now. For real, no doubt.
And that was in 1950 something, wasn't it?
Yeah, 58, Don. That's right.
What year
he was the vice president first.
And what year are we in right now? And here?
1960.
Oh, 60. Okay, so I missed 58. You don't mind telling us what happened in 58 when
Well, that first experiment went from 53 to 58. That was one goddamn thing Fireliners said.
Okay, let's just finish off at 60. I'll catch up.
Okay, I'm going to give you who was Chief of Staff in 1960. His name was General George Decker.
I knew it.
Straight out.
Code name Black and Decker. That's when the vacuum cleaner came out and gave everybody sinus injections. Infections.
Black and Decker. Shit, that sounds about right. Why you bullshit?
That shit fucked my nose up. That goddamn vacuum cleaner fucked me up bad.
Yeah, I hate vacuum cleaners too, Don.
Okay, I have a new one for you, Babylon. 1965, Project CIA and Department of Justice begins Project MK Search. A program to develop a capability to manipulate human behavior through the use of mind-altering drugs. Now, I'm going to say that I think this is that shit where they were doing staring at goats.
They were doing what, Fire?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The man that stared at
That
goats.
movie, The Man Who Stares at Goats. This is about that time, 1965.
Ooh, that movie. Ooh, yeah, George Clooney. I know. Yeah.
Okay.
They are looking to develop a capability to manipulate human behavior through the use of mind-altering drugs. And it's called MK Search, Babylon.
Yeah. HIJKM. So we are in.
Fucking Kool-Aid. Remember? Kool-Aid.
When he bust out the thing.
And everybody say, Kool-Aid, MK.
That right, done.
Kool-Aid.
MK, damn right.
And Eminem and all the rest of them motherfuckers came out during that time.
Yeah.
M.
And do you know that's a whole nother set of programming now? No bullshit. While you're playing, you got Marilyn Manson, Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, all of them. They was M&M programming. Eminem, the rapper now. All of them had M&M in their name because they was a part of a Monarch programming. Absolutely, done. You goddamn right. Marilyn Manson, Marilyn Monroe, Marshall Mathers,
you might as well throw in Michael Jackson.
Yeah, because he was an MJ and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Yep. And Magic Johnson, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. Absolutely. Damn right, Don. All of them had they goddamn programming too. At the same time. They all come out in droves. And then they have these same names. These same letters in their name. Remember now, in the book of Revelation, it does tell the person, if you got wisdom and shit, it's the number of the beast and the number of his name. It don't just say the number. It say the number of his name. That's why Dr. York was saying, like Ronald Wilson Reagan, 666, and shit like that. That's why all their names rhyme, like Ronald Reagan.
Prince came out too. Prince Roger Nelson, 666.
Oh, I ain't know that. I ain't even know that shit.
Roger Nelson, 666. Yeah.
Yeah.
I checked him out when that nigga came out with goddamn controversy. I said, well, let me check this nigga name out.
Yeah. A lot of them bills be a part of it, like Bill Clinton, Bill Cosby, like that BC. A lot of them be a part of that shit too. If you keep the bills and then Kill Bills, all that shit there, that's for real. Those MK Ultra movies and programs. That's their shit. They deal in names. They that's how they hide. That's how they play, like Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Mighty Mouse, all that shit. That MM shit. Okay. I pick them motherfuckers playing. Think these some fucking jokes. And then I'm making this shit up. If you look across the board at every name that I named and we done named on, and then you look at even Kool-Aid, if you look across the board and see what fucking effect it had on the people and what time it came in, we'll see the synchronicity. We'll see that all these in the fucking same date, era, time, they was the same shit. Just like they came out with all the evil movies in 1966. The Exorcist, Rosemary Baby, the goddamn... Yeah, Damien, Omen, fucking, Carrie, all that shit, man. Come on, that damn demon car, Sybil. Man, stop, man. Shit, that was a form of programming for a mass of people. Like right now, the programmer right now is what Fine Line is said. And they tried it a little while ago, and they doing a big push on it now. That's magic. They finna try to push magicians.
And they spell magic with a K, MK.
That's right, MK. That's right. They finna try to push that now. Watch everybody. Instead of children want to be rappers, they're gonna be talking about, I want to be a magician. I want to be a magic man. Watch and see. Watch. This is what they doing. They already pushed that paranormal.
They said he got the magic stick.
Yeah. They pushed that paranormal shit down. Now they finna move into magic, and that's why
that nigga name is
dude.
Jackson. Clarence Jackson.
Clarence Jackson?
Curtis Jackson.
Curtis Jackson, that's right, yeah. I have forgot about that clown.
I know that they all related, but go ahead. Fowler, where we at? So we got a few minutes remaining.
Okay. Yeah, we at 1965. Prisoners at the Holmesburg. Let me start again. Prisoners at the Holmesburg State Prison in Philadelphia are subjected to dioxin, a highly toxic chemical component of Agent Orange used in Vietnam. The men are later studied for development of cancer, which indicates that Agent Orange had been a suspected carcinogen all along. So after they had released the Agent Orange in Vietnam, then they decided to do a test study on the prisoners in Philadelphia to find out what the effects would be.
Absolutely.
Okay, 1966. The CIA initiates Project MK Austin, a program to test the toxin.
MK who? Austin?
Yep.
MK
you know who that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know who that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, let me tell you that. A program to test the toxicological effects of certain drugs on humans and animals. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Now, you know, first of all, you know Austin Powers, but that ain't who I was thinking about. You remember Steve Austin? You know who that is?
Yeah.
The $6 million man. The Bionic Man. I just said that too. Yeah, his name is Steve Austin. Another goddamn MK Ultra program, super soldier. Bionic Man. Absolutely.
Okay, this is Babylon. This is MK Austin. Often.
Same difference.
Okay.
Exactly.
And let's not forget, what's that bitch name? Maria Ostish.
Ostish, that's right, Don.
Yeah. We know the language.
It's the Philosophical Society.
Mm-hmm.
The witches, the warlocks. Maria Ostish and the groom.
That's where the word Ostish come from. Austin and all the rest of that shit. Y'all American people think. Come from them motherfuckers.
Spell it one more time, Fireline. It's MK what?
Often. Austin.
Austin. Oh, Austin. Damn, these motherfuckers is crazy. Okay, let's do it. That must be goddamn time release drugs and shit.
Yeah, I would think so. Because remember when they first came out with time release drugs, they didn't have those. You used to take tablets. And then they came out with time release drugs in the late 60s.
Yeah, like how the hell the drug got a time release on it? Is it in tune with my biological clock? Absolutely.
Oh wow, I never thought about that. You know, I take vitamins, and some vitamins have I'm gonna say time release, and I was like, what? Oh man, no, I'm gonna be careful of those.
Man, how the hell the drug gonna be a time release drug unless it's got a subatomic clock in it? That's the only way.
We talked about the fucking time release drug. Yo, you don't remember that shit, Babylon?
No, I was on the show then.
Motherfucking drug, man. That's dealing with the fucking whole Sandy Hook shit. He want to put the guns in the janitor and all the motherfucking hands and the cook bitch at the school. Then they said they will release that time release capsule in their fucking head and it's gonna turn on them damn kids.
That's that goddamn MK Ultra.
That's that MK Ultra shit, yeah.
Yeah, I remember now, dog, when you said Sandy Hook, because I had forgot. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
I can't think of the programming, but that was a whole one.
That's when we talked about the time release drug. I think you the one that brought it in to the how they gonna fucking kill all the kids in the goddamn school.
Yeah, because they was doing they called it a wet dog. What they were calling that shit now at first? They call it before they ever do the real deal, they call it not a test run, but damn, I forgot the word we was using. I know exactly.
I know they called it something training or some old shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, Don. And then they do it for real. At first it'd be just training and fucking just got them going in.
And then all of a sudden, then next thing you know, after everybody had a little fake ass training, real cops came in and started shooting at the goddamn kids and shit.
What they call it? A drill. They call it a drill, Don. It be drill.
Fire drill.
They do drill.
Like a fire drill.
Yeah, like a fire drill, tornado drill. And then all of a sudden, the guns and shit be fake. And then all of a sudden, one motherfucker have a real gun, and everybody in there get shot for real. It don't be no longer drill. And then they come and arrest the goddamn MK Ultra, the time release, the one with the goddamn real shit. He done been drilled and taught to
if they done gave citizens these drugs, the majority of citizens have jobs, and and a lot of them are professionals and career people. So just imagine all of the staff at the school systems that's already on something.
Absolutely. Prozac and everything.
Yeah, and that's why Obama said we want to make sure that every staff at the school got guns.
Yeah.
But not training, but guns.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on because we got a half an hour left. Okay. Where am I? 1966, U.S. Army dispenses Bacillus subtilis variant throughout the New York subway system. More than millions are exposed when Army scientists drop light bulbs filled with the bacteria into ventilation grates.
Yeah, I remember that. They was doing it in London too. But for the record, can we add this one thing though? MI6 MJ J after I MK K after J and MO after M. Just how we add it in. LMNO. So we in order. So we got to get all the M's in order, and then we're gonna line them up. Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, well, we get ready to go back because you're getting ready to get it in. 1967, the CIA and Department of Defense implement Project Nicoleone, who was
that's right.
And that's when, hey, do the math. Naomi Campbell, NK,
who was the
all right,
and designed to, I'm just going to keep talking, and designed to maintain, stockpile, and test biological and chemical weapons. So here's where your N comes in.
I see it. MK Naomi. I mean, it makes so much fucking sense. I told y'all, man, if they got a Delta, they got an Alpha, Beta, Gamma. If they got an MI, they got an MJ, K, L, M, N, O. What the fuck? You don't just jump around in the alphabet. You fucking, it's a program. You got to follow the goddamn alphabet. The spell of ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Better know. If you got a 6, you got a 12. You got a 12, you got an 18. You got 18, you got a 24. And a fucking 36. Better know.
All right, we up to 1968. The CIA experiments with the possibility of poisoning drinking water by injecting chemicals into the water supply of the FDA in Washington, D.C. That was nice.
I could see all these programs related to water. Like the mosquitoes, all that shit related to water, the releasing of the gas, the fog related to the bays, Tampa Bay, San Francisco Bay, the waters. All these things are related to the water because this is where you can grow these pathogens. This is where you can fluoride is in the water. So they just doing everything via the water. That's why I said in the book of Revelation that 1/3 of the earth's water would be fucking poison.
1969, Dr. Robert McMahon of the Department of Defense requests from Congress $10 million to develop within 5 to 10 years a synthetic biological agent to which no natural immunity exists.
AIDS.
That was 1969. And he said within 5 to 10 years, which would have put it in 1979. And when did the AIDS epidemic start?
Like 80. In 1980, wasn't it? On the dot, right? Where was it?
1980.
1980, yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Wrong now, boy. Woohoo! Oh, sugar, you done did something tonight. You doing something here, boy. You driving this motherfucker.
I agree, Don. I agree.
Wait, to set up with Obama, then end with this shit. Woo! over here. This is a classic.
Let's go to 1970. 1970, funding for the
Okay, this our year, John. Hold on, Fire. This our year now.
I don't need an announcement about this our year, boy. I ain't even got here yet, so fuck 1970. I'm paying attention.
I know, but we get warmed up now. I wasn't born yet. I was coming, but I'm on my goddamn way. Let's do it.
Your mama and daddy will fucking around somewhere around here, right? Okay, come on.
Yeah.
We ready, Fala. I'm sorry.
Okay, 1970. Funding for the synthetic biological agent is obtained. He gets it under HR 15090. The project, under the supervision of the CIA, is carried out by the Special Operations Division at Fort Detrick, the Army's top secret biological weapons facility. Speculation is raised that molecular biology techniques are used to produce AIDS-like retroviruses.
Absolutely. Right. And you know what they call now?
What?
You know what they call now?
What?
H1N1, HN25, HIV, humanopapillomavirus, HPV. This is all your H's where these
HR1s and shit.
Yeah, that's right. Herpes. All this shit. This is
human.
Yeah, humano. Yeah.
That shit was coming from some man who fucked a monkey in Africa.
And so what happened? So the monkey went around fucking more Africans, and Africans came over here fucking more Africans.
When this shit was developed at Fort Detrick in Maryland.
Wow, in Maryland. That's an M, Babylon.
Yeah. Virgin Maryland, right by Virginia, Don. The Virgin Maryland.
Nigga, you
Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., right there in the Virginia foothills where the military base is located, 40 miles west of the White House, under the ground. If anything happens, jump off, head there, because that's where they at.
Okay, let me finish. Let me move on. I'm telling you, the shit gets deeper the closer you get to now.
Let's go.
1970, United States intensifies its development of ethnic weapons designed to selectively target and eliminate specific ethnic groups who are susceptible due to genetic differences and variations in DNA. Want me to read that one?
See, I was going to say something about this fire earlier.
You want me to read that one?
The brother was talking?
Yeah, I'd like to read. Yeah, I'd like to read that one more time. Yeah.
1970, the United States intensifies its development of ethnic weapons designed to selectively target and eliminate specific ethnic groups who are susceptible due to genetic differences and variations in DNA.
Okay, now let's put this in perspective, because this is called racial profiling with the drugs, race-based, okay? That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is this right here. Remember when you said, I was going to mention this earlier, but I knew that it might throw shit off because people don't understand this. You know LSD is a drug, right? But LSD is a chemical drug. So that's a form of chemical bacteria. Like Molly and all that shit now, there's got people talking about flesh-eating bacteria and changing their fucking DNA. That's what LSD, these are products of those drugs. But watch this, though, fire liners now. Watch this. What takes place is when they did this, remember you said they did LSD way back in the goddamn 40s or some shit, 50s. And then you came up again and said they did it again. And then you said they did it in Europe, and then they did it in China. This was the ethnic or the race testing of this drug, because they knew the LSD would affect Chinese different. They got 47 chromosomes. It'll affect Europeans different. They have leprosy. It'll affect black folks different. They have melanin. So this is the race-based testing of these drugs and these chemicals and these bacteria. Don tell us all the time. Don, who you say can't get AIDS? Who is it can't get AIDS?
Caucasians, full-blooded, pure-blooded Caucasians, real blonde hair, real blood, blue eyes, and all that. They cannot get it. Only those with more concentrated melanin, like mulattoes and all the rest of them motherfuckers. All the way
there you go.
Your ass. Even Edomites can get it.
All right. So, yeah,
okay.
We agree, Fire.
1975. The virus section at Fort Dix Center for Biological Warfare Research is renamed the Frederick Cancer Research Facility. Now listen how they changed this shit. The Fort Detrick Center for Biological Warfare Research, they changed the name to Frederick Cancer Research Facility.
They changed the name from what?
From the Fort Detrick Center for Biological Warfare Research. Damn. It then changes into the Frederick Cancer Research Facility. So you go there.
Detrick is Frederick.
Some fucking help with cancer. When in reality,
damn politics.
It is a research center for biological warfare. And it's placed, well, let me finish. It's placed under the supervision of the National Cancer Institute, the people who people send donations to. It is here that a special virus cancer program is initiated by the U.S. Navy, purportedly to develop cancer-causing viruses. To develop cancer-causing viruses, it is also here that retrobiologists isolate a virus to which no immunity exists. It is later named HTLV, human T-cell leukemia virus.
Human what?
Human T-cell leukemia virus. They developed it there.
Another form of AIDS, because the name of the drug for AIDS is called AZT, and the T is for T cells.
Yep.
Like
that's
all white blood cells.
Cancer is AIDS.
Yep.
It is AIDS.
That's right.
Yeah, it is.
And that's leprosy.
because what they said my brother died from was cancer. And then, we find shit out later, it was AIDS. So we like, which one is it, AIDS or cancer? But it's the same shit.
Remember, in 1969, Dr. McMahon went to Congress and asked for some money so that he could develop a biological agent to which there was no natural immunity existing. Wow. So he got this shit, he developed it in 1975, and they called it the HTLV, human T-cell leukemia virus.
Oh, this is some diabolical shit.
See how they
mix? This is worse than police brutality. This is worse than Zimmerman did to Trayvon. This is worse than the Rodney King beating. This is some so I can't say this shit is sorcery. This is magic, yo. This is some chemical alchemy shit.
Listen, Don. 1977, Senate hearings on health and scientific research confirmed that 239 populated areas have been contaminated with biological agents between 1949 and 1969. 239 populated cities were contaminated by the United States fucking government. Some of the areas include San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Key West, Panama City, Minneapolis, and St. Louis.
And you know why it was Key West? And you know why it was D.C.? All niggas. All niggas. Them fucking Bahamians, them niggas down there in Key, they were all niggas.
Thank you.
In 65.
I mean,
70, whatever fuck.
That they see a pattern here.
Chocolate City.
In these cities.
Damn. Because the Messiah was coming.
A lot of Haitians down there.
The Messiah came through the 70s. We the
Messiah. And what did...
No, fuck that. I'm not. Babylon is.
You know they kill the motherfucker who say that, right?
As soon as you say that, boy, they got a target on your ass.
Okay, let me.
Hey, but I see the water fire line. That's the Potomac River in Washington, the Key West, the Florida Keys, the water, St. Louis River, the goddamn Minneapolis.
Yeah,
what you
but
said?
that's highly populated with niggas back in those days.
Absolutely.
It was all Nubian.
Right. These are black cities. These are urban areas.
Yeah, of course you go there now, you ain't gonna see a lot of Negroes.
Yeah, and then not in Minneapolis.
Yeah, not no more.
Okay,
that's
1978. Let me get to this. 1978. Experimental hepatitis B vaccine trials conducted by the CDC begin in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Ads for research subjects specifically asked for promiscuous homosexual men.
Because they already dropped the fucking F-bomb in 1950s.
Exactly.
Specifically asking for homosexual men.
1981, the first cases of AIDS are confirmed in homosexual men in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco.
San Francisco. There it is.
Trickling speculation that AIDS may have been introduced via the hepatitis B vaccine.
Yes.
That's a lie. They got to go back to 1950. That's when they dropped that bomb over there, that little shit y'all talked about in San Francisco first.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, I you connect the dots, la 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 la.
You're done. They've been working with it for a long time, and they just put off.
Here we go, Babylon. 1985. According to the journal Science, and a fatal sheet virus are very similar, indicating a close taxonomic and evolutionary relationship. Here's where the sheet thing starts to come in.
Absolutely.
1985.
85.
Can I say something real quick? Can I just read what the Brock put? The Brock said they was waiting on desegregation so they could be our doctors.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And desegregation allowed niggas to trust them.
Yeah, that was the point. So they could be our doctors.
Our doctors, they would trust the doctors, they would trust the scientists, they would trust the people who said they were coming in to
trust the white man cooking our food.
Yeah, they would
finally eating in their restaurants.
That's right. Everything. Drink the water. Yeah. Everything.
Eat their McDonald's.
Everything. Yeah.
Keep going because we got a few minutes remaining.
Okay. Malcolm X was against that shit. Remember that video we listened to, Fireliners, when he said Martin Luther King failed to desegregate in Albany, Georgia, and they almost made his ass go broke?
Yeah.
He didn't do his fucking job. So desegregation was what they wanted. Malcolm X didn't want to goddamn segregate. Okay. All right, I'm listening.
That's okay. 1986. According to the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, HIV and VISNA are highly similar and share all structural elements except for a small segment which is nearly identical to HTLV.
Leukemia.
This leads to speculation that HTLV and VISNA may have been linked to produce a new retrovirus to which no natural immunity exists.
Yeah.
So they're just
spinning
shit off of shit now. They make an initial disease and then they spin another disease off of that.
That's why the military is the number one priority with the United States government.
Yeah, they do all this dirty work right here.
That's all they give a fuck about.
Because they killing the population. Slowly.
Strong shit.
1986, a report to Congress reveals that the United States government's current generation of biological agents include modified viruses, naturally occurring toxins, and agents that are altered through genetic engineering to change immunological character and prevent treatment by all existing vaccines. You understand what I just said?
I say it again, Fire. I do. But say it again. I want to catch some shit.
In 1986, a report to Congress reveals that the U.S. government's current generation of biological agents include modified viruses, naturally occurring toxins, and agents that are altered through genetic engineering to change immunological character and prevent treatment by all existing vaccines. So the shit that they release in the atmosphere cannot be cured because it has changed people's immunological character. It's changed their fucking DNA.
Yeah. It's called GMOs, genetically modified organisms. That's all they're talking about. Right there.
Right.
If you go back and do the word search on everything you said, GMO, genetically modified organisms.
Genetic engineering. That's correct.
Yep.
Through genetic engineering. 1987,
they're working on.
The Department of Defense admits that despite a treaty banning research and development of biological agents, it continues to operate research facilities at 127 facilities and universities around the United States.
Yeah. The DOD.
Now, I'm waiting on Don to say, what year was that?
What year was that?
1925. And in
1925.
In 1987, the Department of Defense admits that they are currently researching and developing biological agents in 127 facilities, universities around the United States.
I thought they said they went to Geneva to stop all chemical and biological warfare testing in 25, though, Fireliners.
That's what they said. Somebody needs to send Barack an email.
Okay.
Somebody needs to what?
Send Barack an email.
I was just thinking that. I was thinking I just might need to call him and say that your research team fucked your speech up, nigga. Because we got you here.
Yeah.
We got you, motherfucker. He need to fucking hire the brain trust to do this shit for him now. We cleaned all this shit up for him. He got these bootleg ass basketball plastic gold ass niggas in his office and shit.
Yeah.
It's some bullshit. We could have cleaned this shit up and we found no fault in it.
Let me get to this one. 1990, more than 1,500 6-month-old Black and Hispanic babies in Los Angeles are given an experimental measles vaccination that had never been licensed for use in the U.S. The CDC later admits that parents were never informed that the vaccine being injected into their children was experimental.
Wow.
And you know, measles is another form of goddamn nothing but basically HIV, leprosy, For real.
Okay, come on, Firelight. We got like we got 2 minutes. Can we get it all in 2 minutes?
1994, with a technique called gene tracking, Dr. Garth Nicholson at the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, Texas, discovers that many returning Desert Storm veterans are affected with an altered strain of Mycoplasma incognitus, a microbe commonly used in the production of biological weapons. Incorporated into its molecular structure is 40% of the HIV protein code, indicating that it has been man-made.
Go, 94. Come on, let's go.
Senator John D. Rockefeller issues a report revealing that at least 50 years of the Department of Defense has used hundreds of thousands of military personnel in human experiments and for international exposure to dangerous substances.
What the fuck, Rockefeller?
Come on, fella.
1995, U.S. government admits that it had offered Japanese war criminals and scientists who had performed human medical experiments salaries and immunity from prosecution for exchange for data on biological warfare research. So anybody who wants to know anything about this shit, look up the Japanese in World War II, and it'll tell you about all the different experiments that they did. 1995, Dr. Garth Nicholson uncovers evidence that the biological agents used during the Gulf War had been manufactured in Houston, Texas, and Boca Raton, Florida, and tested on prisoners in the Texas Department of Correction. 1996, the Department of Defense admits that Desert Storm soldiers were exposed to chemical agents. In 1997, 88 members of Congress signed a letter demanding an investigation into bioweapons use in the Gulf War syndrome. And that's where it stops. It stops at 2000 because the shit that went on after 2001 with George Bush would be worse than the shit we already read.
Yeah. And for the record, a lot of those was the CIA before it changed over to the DOD, and George Bush them were the head of the CIA.
That's correct. You're absolutely correct. George Bush was the director of the CIA during Nixon and Ronald Reagan. No, during Nixon.
Absolutely.
During Nixon.
So we went from one George Bush to then the DOD took over. Now we had the next George Bush, and they stopped because they know that's the goddamn link. So
now
you rock.
I just want to say, because we're about to go off. I just want to say that, this took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. But I really thought that it was some information that needed to be shared so that people would understand the complexity of the United States saying anybody should be condemned because they use chemical warfare on their own citizens.
And they still are today.
And so if you
see
the effects, you can see the effects of the diseases that you see walking around here today have been manufactured.
I was wondering why so many motherfuckers are mentally fucked up and physically fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. Goddamn parents part of the goddamn MK drag.
I have to agree, and I say this all the time, Don. Don't I say this is diabolical? This is diabolical.
Wow.
Deep shit, Fire. I love it. That was great. That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
You like us, Anthony?
I love you guys.
I don't keep on back in the family, man.
I don't keep coming back because I don't like you guys. I love you guys. You can deep.
This is some strong shit. Well, that concludes our episode for the night, y'all. Hot damn politics. Save this show. I titled it U.S. History on Chemical Warfare. Y'all need to keep that, bitch. And buy the transcripts of this motherfucker just in case.
Hey, Doug, I want to say something, but I want your response to be, Okay?
All right.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Fireliners. Man, you done did it tonight, Sugar. Sugar, you done outdid yourself. Oh, this is it. That's our time, y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Peace. Thank you so much, Fireliners. This was fucking, oh, my God.
Thank you, Fire.
Wait till the niggas hit me in my hood.